Something new is coming to Poindexter Lounge. New voices, new personalities. If you think you know, you don't know Jack.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, and it is great to have you with me once again in the lounge tonight. And look, if this is your first time to the lounge, welcome. It is good to have you here. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you stopped by. Think of the lounge as your lounge. Pull up a chair. You know what? Kick your foot. Never mind, folks. I'm out of here. Thanks for being here. Apparently, I can't talk tonight, so thanks for being here. No, kick your feet up and just have a good time. All right. Let's have a good stream. Let's have a great stream. All right. Let's not just have a good stream. Let's have a great stream. And hey, if this is your first time, just know this: the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and my crew can get together and we can all talk about the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more. And if those are things that get you excited, if those are things that get your blood pumping, if entertainment news is what drives you, all while being cool, you know, maybe sitting back and going, I don't really care. Then hey, please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. Whatever category you fall into, we're just glad to have you here. We're glad to have you as part of the conversation. All right. As always, at the beginning of the show, I do like to say thank you and recognize those who support the channel. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. We appreciate you guys so much. Everyone who is part of the Patreon, thank you guys. Thank you to all the patrons. You guys are fantastic and we appreciate you guys. Also, look at all of the members here. The members are awesome and I appreciate all the members as well. And you guys are fantastic. And hey, can't tell you guys enough how much we love you and how much we appreciate you guys. Also, everyone who gives super chats, you guys are fantastic as well. You guys keep the lights on here. Thank you guys. Appreciate for all you do. And of course, everyone who just supports the channel. Some of you guys just like to give to the PayPal or the Cash App. Thank you guys for doing that. Always a shout out to you for that. And of course, we have the store. So you guys can check out the store and check out all the cool stuff that we have in the store for you with Poindexter Lounge on it. And some of it doesn't even have Poindexter Lounge on it. Some of it's just got some cool stuff that's just there, you know. This is some fun things. All right. So I like that Warner Brothers shirt there. That's one of my faves. But yeah, so hey, that's there for you as well. Thank you guys. That's my little spiel. That's all of that. But we appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate you guys, you know, being a part of the lounge and all that you do for the lounge. All right. So I did drop the StreamYard into the chat again. And you are welcome if you'd like to join the conversation. All I ask you is if you join the conversation, and this I gotta mess with Draga a little bit, just because last night, so probably don't have cutscenes from GTA playing in the background, you know, and don't show movies. That's let's keep it, to the point, right? No, man. Just got to mess with him a little bit there. I was busy, working on everything else here, trying to put everything together, and I totally just didn't even realize what was going on. So, but yeah, we just don't want to get demonetized, that kind of stuff. So, but thank you guys. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. We are grateful to all of you. All right, with that being said, we do have some people here already, but real quick, I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to say hi to a couple people, and then we'll bring people in. What's up? Hal Jordan says, hey Enosh, hashtag Team Godzilla. There you go. Jalen is here. What's up? Jalen says, what's up, guys? Anthony Beltray is here. Says, what's up, Enosh? Apple TV getting Godzilla spinoff series. Not bad. The Batman is going to be amazing. Anthony, you are absolutely welcome to jump in, man, if you'd like to jump in. What's up, Keely Chow? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you, Keely. Aaron Pritchard is here. What's up? Aaron says, good day, Enosh, and everyone. Good day to you as well. And you know what? I think I knew this, but I think I'm just realizing it now that you're Australian as well. Or you're just using good day. But either way, yes, that's cool. We got so many great Australians here, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. Laser Luke Gamer. What's up, Laser Luke? We got Australians, we got Puerto Ricans, right? What's up, Laser Luke? Says, what's up, Enosh? Wow, the MonsterVerse for Apple TV instead of HBO Max, right? Wow, it seems WB are embarrassing themselves. By the way, can you imagine if the Snyderverse will also be on Apple TV? Well, that's a little bit different, with the ownership and everything like that. That's not something as the MonsterVerse is a little, WB doesn't own it outright, and so some of the licensing deals and everything allowed that to happen. But yeah, you never know what the future may entail, right? What gets sold. I think we've realized after a little bit, like, things may not be necessarily it may not be just you take it for granted that everything's up for sale, but the right price, you just never know. But we'll see one day. Who knows? What's up? Jared says, yo, good to see you. I put this in there because I watched Peacemaker tonight, and I didn't put it in the thumbnail, but we'll definitely talk about it tonight as well. Peacemaker asked the question today: is Batman a P word for not killing, for not taking care of business? I put that out to you guys. We'll talk with the panel about it. Is that too far, or is it, just, James Gunn's way of putting it, for example? But Jared here says, I'd say he's not, because only a P word would take the easy way out of responsibility by killing. There you go. And Laser Luke is very, very much adamant. Batman is not a P word. Anthony Grigsby is here. What's up, Anthony? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you, my friend. Draga is here. Good to see you, Draga. 187 in the house. Good to see you. Whoop, didn't click. 187 in the house. Where is my movie? It should be there. It should be there. I sent it out last week, man. It should be there anytime, bro. I don't know. I'll have to try to track it if you haven't gotten it yet, because I know Jared received his action figure. Dawson, I sent an action figure to. I haven't talked to Rhea yet about whether or not she's received her comic, but then you have your movie, so it should be going, man. You should be getting it anytime soon. No, seriously though. I want to make sure that you get it. That dude Vince is here. You do suck is here. Says, holy crap, I'm a member. You do suck. You are a member. Oh no, you're good, Draga. I know. You're good. Let's see. Who else is here? Playing showgirls in the background is still cool, right? Maybe. What's up, Integrity 101? What's the best and worst part of being a YouTuber? The best part is you guys. The best part, because that's why I'm here, right? The best part is being able to share and come on nightly, and talk about this stuff that I love, that I'm passionate about. That's why I started the channel, right? Was to do that. There are the benefits of it too, when, especially like lately, that, I haven't been working. And so when people are blessing us and, and it's financially doing well, that's a blessing too. It's not the best part because that's not just what motivates me, but it's definitely a plus. And it's always nice to be able to tell the wife the next morning, hey, hey, we did well, and, I'm not just spending 4 or 5 hours, you know, she, she's great though. She's great about it. So Tiffany never gives me a hard time about it. Tiff is fantastic. That's why we call her Tiff-tastic. But it makes me feel better to be able to tell her, hey, yeah, the channel's doing well. So there's that. The worst part about it, I would say, is you know what? It's just drama. It's especially, it's one thing when you comment on something and you expect people to come back at you, right? The worst part about it for me is I've encountered people who have literally just gotten mad at me about things that are out of my control. Or, they don't know you. They've never talked to you or, there has been a couple people that have talked to me in real life, but they just, get these ideas in their head and they just think that that's real life, or they misinterpret something you say. Because if you are on a public thing like this, people, they hear it and that's it, and they just run with that. And so sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. People are just going to think what they're going to think, and you can try to tell them otherwise, but they just think they know. And so that's the worst part, is when I've just woke up one day and people are just mad at me for just no apparent reason, but then others be mad at me. And I'll be honest with you, I've kind of gotten not used to it, but now it's just kind of like, well, I hope they come around. What else are you going to do? Right? What else are you going to do? Yes, Aaron says, yes, I am an Aussie. That's awesome. That's awesome. Bipolar Nobody is here, says, I'm wiped and I have a doctor appointment tomorrow, or else I definitely jump on with my second favorite YouTube creator ever. Second. I'm number 2. Y'all have a great stream and make Broden behave. LOL. I'll watch back tomorrow. Okay. All right. All right. What's up, Levon Media? It says, which Batman is Peacemaker referring to? That's the question, right? Is it Batfleck? I at this point, I don't think that Batfleck is in that world. At this point, I feel like it's a different world. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's see here. Anybody else before I jump in? Okay. No, I think we're good. All right. Well, that being said, we're going to bring in some people. First of all, he's all over the world. He leaves the Fraggle hole every once in a while, but he always comes home. Or at least he sends a nice little message back to his nephew Goebel. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Uncle Traveling Matt.
Oh, he's right over here. Hello.
What's up, Uncle Matt?
Doing good. How are you? How are all the silly creatures tonight?
The silly creatures are doing well.
Great.
Hey, you know what? But I gotta say, man, I don't know, man. You took off on your family and everybody, and you just kind of went out into the world, into outer space, and like your nephew needed you, bro.
No, he didn't need me. He had his
did.
friends. He had Marjorie the trash heap. Why does he need me? I send him postcards.
Because you were the male role model in his life, Matt.
No.
Yeah.
He has a father. You never see him because he's a deadbeat.
Is that your brother or your?
Oh,
or
yeah. Real son of a bitch.
Even more so that he needs you, his Uncle Matt.
Nope.
Nope, not my responsibility. Not my Fraggle.
I got exploring to do.
I got exploring to do. Oh, I got my own life, man.
Hey,
I got my own life.
If I could take a moment to address the comment about best worst things about being a YouTuber. When I was very new to this game, I guess it was about 6 years ago, when I had just kind of really started in the YouTube sphere. I'd been a podcaster for God knows how long, but I met my good buddy Adam the Woo for the first time. and it was the first time I'd ever met another YouTuber in person, and especially someone who's that big and that successful. And when I asked him, like, Is it weird? Is it weird that like
No, I'm
people
sorry. Who was
watch
this again? Who was this again?
Adam the Woo?
Adam the who?
Adam the Woo? You've never
Silent and profiling.
I'm sorry.
No, when first time I met Adam, I said, you do a daily video. Every day you do a video. So there's people who go with you every single day on your adventures, and they don't know you. They've never met you, but they have this window into your life on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Is it weird that people come up to you and you don't know them, but they automatically approach you as a friend? And he said, that's the greatest blessing about doing this. And I'm nowhere near as successful as he is, but I've experienced that myself. I'll go places and people will be Crazy Joe, and they're so happy to see me. And I don't know them, but they know me, and they smile, they're happy. And it's just, it doesn't happen that often, but it is kind of a blessing. It's like, wow, um, you meet people and it's like they're your friend already, and you've never met them before that moment. But that I'm gonna second him and say that that's the blessing.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Also tonight we've got Brodan in here. What's going on, Brodan?
Hi, Gary. How's it going?
I am not Gary. I deny
Let me
that.
say it, sir. I have never in my life done anything just for the money. If I'm lying, may the Lord strike me down right now.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm tired. I'm only going to be in for a little bit. I do have to watch Peacemaker, as I do have to have the Bad Boys podcast tomorrow, so we talk about this.
All right.
And I am tired, and I am also really wanting to throw my controller for no reason. Also, it's my first time here. Oh, wait. I am so freaking tired. Wow.
Wow. You're still here from yesterday. So
Yeah.
it's just a continuation.
It's a continuation, yes.
Just a continuation. Just a continuation. Yeah. I don't know how late we're going to be here either, because I got to get up in the morning. I got a bunch of stuff. I got to fight a parking ticket tomorrow. So
Well, I don't know how you fight a parking ticket. I've tried. I mean, I've literally tried to fight the parking ticket, and it just, I can't, beat it. It's just paper, so it's kind of like...
I know. You know what? Well, we got, it's, I had to go downtown. My grandmother passed away a couple months ago. And so I had to go downtown and get her water, because I inherited her house. Me and my aunt did. And so we went down together, and I'm at the parking meter. I tried using 2 different cards. The card would not work for the spot. It kept saying that the spot was available, but I'm sat there for like 10 minutes trying to get the thing to work. And I was like, well, screw this. And so like I pulled the car, I got the car out, pulled the car up one spot because I got the next spot to work. And so I was like, okay. And I looked at my aunt right then and I said, I bet you anything. I'm going to get a parking ticket for this. They're going to try to say, well, you were here for 10 minutes, even though like I sat there in the cold, my hands freezing, trying to get the freaking card to work.
Right.
And sure enough, today,
honestly, shouldn't they have a website for missed payments? Like,
it's not even like missed payments. It's like, it was the fact that I had pulled into that parking spot and I hadn't paid a toll, because it's all cameras and stuff like that. So they've got a picture of my van and everything. And, it just pisses me off, because it's like, I was only there for 10 minutes because it wouldn't take my money.
Or I would take the damn card.
Yeah. Like if it just took the card, I would be okay, and I would have paid for that. And I did pay for it for the next spot up, but yeah, it is what it is. Also here we've got Jalen. What's up, Jalen? Yo, good to have you.
It's always good to be here.
All right. Also, we've got Anthony Grigsby from Down Under. How you feeling, man?
I'm going all right. Day 5 today.
Yes.
Of COVID, or nearly day 5. If you look at the track since Monday morning. So I'm going okay. My voice is coming back.
Good. Now, Uncle Matt, have you you travel a lot of places. Have you been worried about getting the the dreaded COVID.
No, we Fraggles are immune to COVID.
Oh, so maybe we should
It's from eating all those doozer constructions. It's a natural antidote. You guys got to eat some.
Oh, I was thinking maybe if we sliced a couple Fraggles open, maybe we could figure out, maybe the antidote, maybe from your blood, derived from your blood.
Yeah, you can have my nephew Gobo.
Okay. Well, I see Joe's got his hand up, up your rear there. Maybe, he could do some tests for us.
Don't judge me.
And also we've got Anthony Belcher. What's up, Anthony?
What's up, Enos?
I'm sorry. Did I throw you?
Batman should smile more.
What's that?
I said Batman should smile.
Should smile more? Yes, he should.
Look at my profile. That's what he should smile like that.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's what that is. Look at that. Look at there. He's smiling. He's just super happy. You know why he's smiling?
He got his parents back.
He shipped his pants.
Oh,
my pants. Right here? Ship my pants? You're kidding. You can ship your pants right here. You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow. I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants and it's very convenient. Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie. I just shipped my bed.
Is that an actual commercial?
Yes, it was.
What the man? Wow, that's crazy.
It was a Kmart commercial.
Amazing.
What's crazy is you actually do a pretty good traveling mat there, Joe.
Oh, thank you.
And now, have you ever ran into Kermit?
Yeah, I run into him a couple times. Nice guy.
Yeah, it was sad what happened. You saw what happened to him, right? On the Conan O'Brien show?
No, I didn't.
Oh, we got a clip of it.
So, Kermit, are you and Miss Piggy still an item?
Oh, yeah, she's the love of my life.
That's adorable. What the?
Ginger, no!
Rest in peace.
He doesn't sound the same anymore.
No, he didn't sound the same after that.
God rest his soul. He will be missed.
Oh man, yeah, that's just kind of the feeling I'm in tonight.
We should have a movie, Ryko versus Kermit.
We still have what?
I mean, Elmo versus Kermit. That should be a movie.
Elmo versus Kermit. Well, Elmo is currently fighting Rocco.
Well,
Rock.
A non-living rock.
Hey,
non-living person.
What's going on there, traveling Matt? What are you doing? What are you doing down there in Joe's lap?
Nothing.
No,
just gay stuff.
This is a PG show, sir.
Did you just say just gay stuff?
Don't judge me.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that.
It's him being on those construction sites, don't you know?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I was not waiting for just gay stuff. I'm sorry.
That should be somebody should clip that.
That's got to be a drop. What are you doing? Nothing, just gay stuff.
I don't know. That's gonna beat Max going on a tirade about pretzels, but all right.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
This is why I'll never work for the Henson Company.
Wow. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Yes, Kermit is on Omegle now. I've seen those videos. Yes, I've seen those videos. I've watched them all.
That guy's hilarious. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that guy's hilarious. Have you seen that, Joe?
I don't know what Omegle is.
Omegle is like it's like a chat online thing.
Well, it's a chat plus nasty stuff too.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have turned it into that where it's like, you got to be careful because like people are on there, guys are on there and stuff, but people, it's supposed to be like a thing like where you can just go and like meet other people, right? And just talk to random strangers. But there's a guy on there who has Kermit, and we'll just say this: he shows everybody a cucumber.
Yeah, he shows us cucumber.
and it's pretty funny. The guy's got a YouTube channel, and yeah, it's like I'm cruising for some bad chicks. Well, this took a turn. Right off the bat, right?
Black Star Afro says to bring out the Dark Crystal toys. I don't know if that's addressed at me, but I do have Dark Crystal toys.
Wow.
He said that. Did he say that, or the Doozer crystals? Oh, Dark Crystal toy. Oh, there we go.
Bringing out the Dark Crystal toys. Huh.
I don't know. Yes, he's looking for baddies.
Well, it's not like the green kryptonite that Enosh has.
That's true. I got the green kryptonite. Yes, I do. Where is that? That's right back here. Hold on a second. I'll show you my own kryptonite here.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone watched the latest Superman and Lois.
You said what?
Superman and Lois.
Oh yeah, it's a good. I mean, the first season I gave it a solid 9.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I like how it takes inspiration from each movie. Oh my god!
Oh,
Traveling Mad. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Man,
Does that taste like radishes?
No.
You probably could show that.
That's a shame.
You can sniff it first.
I don't know. I don't like where this is going already.
You probably could show that somebody asked. What?
Smells good.
Whoa.
All right. So you know what? So let's talk about here first of all the news.
Godzilla.
That Godzilla
is
going
Apple
to
TV.
Apple TV.
Yeah.
I've been honest. Apple been killing it lately. They got some good shows in the streaming service. Like they've been doing good.
I'm actually really surprised by this.
I mean, this is probably a big FU to Warner Brothers. So like he's like, yeah, I'm putting this on HBO Max. Good luck. Plus,
Yeah, I think Apple, I think Legendary's pissed that still pissed about the day and date releases because they were not happy about that with Dune and with Kong Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I don't know who this is that we're bringing in, but we'll see who it is.
Hey guys,
take it easy, sweetheart.
Hey, take it easy. It's me, Droga. 50.
Oh, okay. Just wondering. All right, cool.
Take it easy.
But yeah, you know, Anthony, I think you're right. I think you're right about this because, you know, I think this is kind of and I think you're right too, Joe. That
And plus, Apple could spend a lot of money, more money than HBO Max combined and Warner Brothers. They got a lot of money, so it makes sense for Legendary to give, like, okay, you want a spin-off? Sure. Give us the amount of money, and we're doing Apple TV. It's probably going to compete against the Amazon Lord of the Rings, which is probably my guess, which makes sense, obviously.
But do you think that they're launching into this because they think they can get more backing than they would another movie or a media?
That's a good question. I would say, I mean, Apple doesn't care about money. I mean, it could get whatever budget. So, I mean,
No, but see, with anything Godzilla and all that, you find a lot of merchandise and everything that comes with it. You can imagine after the last film, the parallels that there would be, the good and bad factors of if they pursued straight away into pre-production for another film, whereas they could be very flexible with the TV series because they could branch out and do different things.
Yeah, I think it's just I guess it's kind of like it's something you put out that way you can satisfy people while working on other stuff.
I wouldn't mind if they keep doing spin-off for the guys, the MonsterVerse. I mean, why not?
I would
And
not
they
be angry if they made a Monarch series.
They left it wide open during the film for many different things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll just read it here. It says the big screen world of Godzilla and Legendary's MonsterVerse is getting the small screen treatment. Apple TV Plus has partnered with Legendary for a new original live-action show based on the creatures and the mysterious monster tracking organizations seen in the popular films. Hailing from Legendary Television, the show will be executive produced by Chris Black, the sci-fi veteran behind Star Trek Enterprise, and Robert Kirkman, series Outcast, and Matt Fraction, best known for his award-winning comic book work such as Marvel Comics Hawkeye. The two will act as the show's co-creators, with Black as the showrunner. Also executive producing are Safe House Pictures, Joby Harold and Tori Tummel, as well as Hiro Matsuoka and Takemasa Arita of Toho Company Limited. Toho is the owner of Godzilla and other ancillary characters. Legendary has been unleashing Toho's monsters since 2014's Godzilla. After the first film, it began building a cinematic universe of monsters that included King Kong, not owned by Toho, as well as giant monster beings known collectively as Titans, kaiju that come from beneath the Earth's crust to wreak havoc on human civilization. The cinematic universe includes 2017's Kong Skull Island, 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters, and 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong. Collectively, the movies have stomped up close to $2 billion globally at the box office.
Well, that's combined then. I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I mean, it's 3 movies, but I mean, almost $2 billion. That's still good. Still good. I mean, per Apple, which made the announcement Thursday, the series is following the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco, and the shocking new reality that monsters are real, and will explore one family's journey to uncover its buried secrets and a legacy linking them to the secret organization known as Monarch. The MONSTERVERSE series is the latest entry in the sci-fi fantasy series that streamers are developing in order to attract viewers who are hungry for geeky and spectacle-styled product. The company already has Foundation, adapting the novel by Isaac Asimov, sci-fi drama Invasion, and Jason Momoa post-apocalyptic thriller C. Black worked on the cult 1990 series Sliders before working on Enterprise, as well as Desperate Housewives in the early 2000s. He most recently acted as writer, exec producer on Outcast, ACM's adaptation of the Kirkman comic. Fraction wrote numerous comic book series for Marvel, including a defining run on Hawkeye. The recent hit Marvel Studios series seen on Disney Plus leaned heavily on his work, and he earned a consulting producer credit on the show.
I mean, sort of heavily, but there was, sort of, not heavily.
Okay. Says that was unusual, as comics writers tend to receive a thanks to credit, but in this case, his contribution was more impactful.
They got a Marvel writer and the guy from Star Trek, so not bad.
I don't know how I feel about the story, because originally, I was thinking it was just gonna be just a show about Monarch, and I guess overall it's what they're doing at that point in time, rather than it being it's directly right after Godzilla versus Kong. But I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern, I said this over on Max's channel, I just don't want it to turn into what are they going to weekly destroy cities? What are they going to do? Are we just never are we really going to see Titans in it?
Yeah.
Or could we perhaps see them doing a lot of the legwork in how they discovered where to look during the film, and especially sea diving. Or going, into the earth, and a lot of those kind of, missions where it's a lead up. You get little teasers along the way before you actually see them. Maybe.
Bring in Danny Trejo as the keeper of the kaiju, and he teaches people how to ride them.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm interested in seeing this. I'm not the biggest Godzilla fan, but I appreciate it, and I respect it, and I have enjoyed the movies. Like I said, actually, I think the best 2 out of all of them, Kong was fantastic.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah,
Kong was just absolutely fantastic, and
the
first Godzilla movie was really, really good.
I mean, if this is successful, they could do a Kong spin-off. Why not?
I thought it was a rumor that they were doing Son of Kong or something like that.
I mean,
You
can
Donkey
do
Kong. What do you think, Brodan? I mean, you got a kind of a theme going there, man, of your with your stuff, man. Like, so, like, what do you think?
This honestly, I trust what they're doing. It works. I mean, the problem that I'm gonna kind of see is if you make a series in the MonsterVerse, you're gonna have to expect to see a giant effing monster, and I don't know how the show's budget's gonna support that. But I could see it working. I mean, they could just stick to the Skull Island stuff and stick to just the Monarch. I think it could work as a good series. It's nice to see the MonsterVerse get some credit because unlike the disgraceful comic run that's going on right now with Warner Bros. That I don't want to discuss. The MonsterVerse is done right by the fans and has not really let down in terms of fan service. So I'm going to be looking forward to this show.
I mean, hey, as Apple, they spend a lot of money on the streaming servers. I mean, plus, Legendary is mad at Warner Brothers. They're like, we're not going to put this on HBO Max. We're going to talk to Apple. And that's what happens.
There is another big Warner Brothers series over on HBO Max that I guarantee Warner Brothers is kicking themselves that they let get away. And that's Ted Lasso. That's a Warner Brothers series.
Oh, yeah.
And that's they won all the Emmys this year. Like, I mean,
Ted Lasso's phenomenal.
Yeah, I guarantee that Warner Brothers is still kicking themselves for not getting that one for HBO.
Yeah.
Honestly, can we move Doom Patrol from HBO Max too? Since just for the heck of it, can we start doing that too? Start removing everything.
Black Star Afro here. Thank you so much with the Canadian $6.99 super chat. Says enough. We spent years watching Angel Grove in Power Rangers get destroyed weekly, so you have to give it a chance.
Well, are you talking about the series? Oh no.
My only thing about the show is it's like the one of the weaker parts like these movies are like the human aspect of it. I don't mind it overall, but it's like the main thing we'll ever hear that's critiqued about the movie. It's like, oh, it's too many humans, and then like now we have people that are like, now we're getting a show where we're following a family, so it's gonna be some backlash about that anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, how far can families go, right? I mean, I guess the Monarch thing.
It's about family.
It's secretly a spin-off of this is the
Fast and the Furious. Oh my God,
Fast and the Furious. This is for you, Black Star Afro.
Wait a minute. If we can't get into the front door, there's always the back door.
You know what's crazy? He still looked the same though.
Yeah.
Yeah, very tough.
All right, guys, let's do it. It's morphin' time. Peter Griffin.
Wow. Go Power Rangers.
Right.
There you go.
No.
I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. One day, if I get Apple TV. Do you guys have Apple TV?
I mean,
I do, and it was just to see the show C. That's
really.
Yeah. I really enjoy C.
Yeah, Apple TV is the last one that I still haven't gotten.
Yeah, Apple TV if you upgrade your phone every year.
Yeah, Apple and HBO Max are the two that I get for free. Both due to my cell phone service. One because I have an Apple, and one because I have AT&T. So I'm gonna have to start paying for Apple soon since AT&T sold them, or HBO. I'm gonna start paying for HBO soon.
Hey, at this point, Apple should just buy Legendary. At this point,
I reckon they will. I reckon, because they're gonna not have a shortage of any money anytime soon. That's something that's probably going to happen down the line.
Well, the only two,
yeah. Like,
the only two studios. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're all right, Anthony. Go on.
No, I said the only two studios that got a lot of money now is Apple and Amazon, so they could buy a lot of stuff if they want to. If they want to overspend, so I mean, that could happen in the future. I hope they buy more companies.
And they probably will. It's a license to print money if they do the right things.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean they've got a ton of cash. Like, Apple like literally they were talking about what was it last year or the year before? Yeah, they almost bought Disney for gosh sake. Like the only thing that kept them from getting Disney was the fact that they did not want to get into the theme park business.
Apple's, I love Apple. Steve Jobs, you took an L. Just saying.
Look, I'm an iPhone user for life, man.
F Android.
You know, I used to do Android. I understand like when people like Android and stuff, and I get it. But
iPhone is too easy. Like
it is, man. It's like it communicates with all my other Apple products. You know, like it just. I don't know, but
Peter Rabbit Defender's right. Apple TV have a lot of good stuff, and the Macbeth also star Wayne T. Carr in it. That's a good series. I mean, good movie that just came out on Apple Plus.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like Wayne T. Carr actually acting? You mean like where you can go see him act and everything?
Oh, and
he was there.
I love it.
I think Denzel Washington is in it.
Yes, Denzel Washington. Yes, is also in it.
Yeah, the tragedy of Macbeth. He plays the murderer of Macduff's family. Yeah, it's only a cameo. I think when you were talking to him, he actually mentioned it, but he didn't say exactly what the role was.
Yeah.
I think he said he's playing a murderer, but he couldn't say what for.
Oh yeah, he did say that. I remember.
Yeah.
Marcus, I'm sorry, but that's not true. I mean, iPhone does not suck. Literally, bro. Apple stay on top every year. Like Android phone is always the number 3 spot.
Listen, bro. All right, listen, man. All right, if you can drop your phone and it like cracks instantly, while I drop mine like 50 times, bro. I think my Android is better than your iPhone. I'm sorry.
My iPhone has never cracked.
Facts. Mine has never cracked either.
Gotta get an Otter box. These things take a beating.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
That's what I've always gotten is an Otter box.
Depends on which Android, by the way.
Check out my Pac-Man Fever pop socket. Bought that right from Jerry Buckner.
Oh.
I'm
sorry, the only competition.
Was that Rodan that just said something? Who was it that just said something?
What?
What? Somebody just said something, and then Uncle Traveling Matt there jumped in. Yeah.
What?
That dude Vince said, oh, now you get out of his lap. Okay.
Mark,
white stuff on your mouth.
Marcus.
Gay stuff.
You're talking about a phone that's only in China, bro. It's not even in the States.
Yes, Nokias are the most durable of them all. You still find those things everywhere. They
remember the Nokia phone used to be a brick?
Yep.
That's oh my god. Rest in peace to Nokia from 2013.
Oh man. I'm telling you what, man.
That's going old school there.
Oh yeah.
Super Scoopa says slow news week, huh? Jarbo is scraping the barrel too.
Well, maybe Jarbo needs to go.
Or Jarbo's doing colons.
There is some big news this week. There's some big news this week.
Hey, we're talking about Godzilla. I mean, that's a pretty big MonsterVerse thing.
Oh, can we talk about G.I. Joe?
He's big, yeah.
What about
Godzilla? Don't get bigger than Godzilla. I mean, unless you're the Cloverfield monster from Cloverfield Paradox, then I mean that's much bigger.
What about G.I. Joe losing the license at that?
So you know what? I thought I gotta look into that. I was thinking about maybe bringing that up tomorrow night.
Okay.
Just because I hadn't looked at like what that was yet, and like what all it entails. I mean, I know because I'm into G.I. Joe, obviously, and so G.I. Joe, like I knew that this was coming. It's like G.I. Joe and Transformers and but it's like the comics, and so I believe that the rights are just reverting. If I know, but I don't know for sure. So I might have to look that up and maybe tomorrow on our recap show, we usually do a recap show maybe on Friday or Saturday. So
Recap, yes.
Yeah, so maybe we'll throw that in as the new thing for the recap show, or
And also Jason Echo's Secret DC movie.
Yep, Jason Eccles got it, and Jason Eccles like very public war with Jessica Alba.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's all like behind the scenes they get along. It's just maybe it was a clash of personalities. It was beefed up a bit.
Yeah.
The last Jensen Ackles DC role, I was not a fan of. I didn't watch Supernatural for like 3 or 4 seasons because I hated Jason Teague so much on Smallville.
Well, wait till season 3 of The Boys, and people see what he does, in that, and he'll get notice, more from DC.
In my opinion, either he's playing Red Hood or Hollywood Queen. That's the only 2 roles I could think of. Other than that,
I don't know. Isn't he too old to be playing Red Hood?
He's
not really, because if it's set in a Batgirl universe, then no, because Dick is gonna be what, 26, 27 in the Batgirl movie, if it's true the rumors. So like,
how old is Jensen Ackles? Isn't he like in his 40s or something?
Yeah, Jensen Ackles is old, man.
He's old. I would rather have someone much younger, but my project for Jensen was
he's 43. He's 43.
Right, in a Batman Beyond universe with Red Hood running around, I would have Jensen be that guy. It's the older version, but in terms of like regular Red Hood, no, I wouldn't think of it.
I think someone like my choice would be Will Poulter for Red Hood.
Ugh.
Yeah,
I don't know. Will
he was almost Captain America though.
Yeah. I could have saw him as Captain America.
He could do Captain.
But he's on The Boys. He's going to be playing Soldier Boy.
Yeah,
he's going to be playing Captain America. He's dumber.
Pretty much.
Honestly,
I can't wait for The Boys to come back.
Captain America ripoff.
Man, that show literally saved 2020.
But you saw how they've been throwing Dylan O'Brien's name around too, yeah?
Dylan O'Brien?
Yeah, they've been talking him up to be Jason Todd or to be Nightwing. I like Brenton Thwaites in the role.
Me too.
Yeah, he's good.
He's great. The writing for the show is just absolutely abysmal. But I think in fact, I thought the kid who did Red Hood did a great job. I think
he really cares about the role. You can tell,
Yeah.
The writing might not be crash hot, but you can see that he really does. He plays it so right,
He made me care about. I jokingly said because of Thwaites, I love Dick, because Dick is
gay stuff. Sorry,
right? Dick has always been one of those characters that I liked Dick Grayson, but but the thing is like after watching that first season of Titans, I got completely just enamored with the character. Like I didn't have any action figures. I didn't have any action figures at all of Dick Grayson. I had one like Robin figure, but I went out, man. I got Nightwing figures. I started like getting much more deeper into the character of Nightwing and yeah, I mean that was all because of him. And I agree, the kid who plays Jason Todd on the show Titans, phenomenal. That guy, like he blew it out of the water. Like he really made us hate Jason Todd the way that we were supposed to hate Jason Todd.
I don't know.
He said the writing. I
understand.
understand people's complaints about the writing because especially like with the story of Red Hood,
they rushed it. I thought that the costume design was on point. I thought he was fine. The writing just didn't make any sense, and they try to subvert your expectations instead of just writing it the way it needed to be written, and that's on them. They don't have a direction on that show, and it shows.
My
You know
biggest
why?
complaint about Titans is that they have too much profanity. I don't like the fact that it's like an R-rated show,
Yeah,
which
everyone's so
doesn't
rude.
make any sense at all for the Titans. Like that's
Everyone
like
is so rude to each other in this show. It's like, hey, how are you doing? Fuck you, I'm doing good. How are you
right.
doing?
Like it makes sense for
Literally.
Doom Patrol. It makes sense when you're doing Doom Patrol. It doesn't make sense for Titans because literally Teen Titans Go is on right now. This is a brand you are marketing to get the.
But hold on
for
though,
the
hold
kids.
on. This is where I will fight back on that. This is where I fight back that.
That's a show.
Teen
for children.
Titans Go is not the definitive
It's not definitive.
It's
Titans
trash.
thing.
It's trash.
If
Well,
we're
it's
talking
not trash.
The
It's an
original.
excellent
I mean,
show.
it's not.
original.
I'm not going to say it's trash. I'm just saying that people who like Teen Titans Go got to understand that
not for us.
that is not just it. The Teen Titans comic has always been cutting edge. Has always been.
It was never mature though.
It was though.
It was
though.
mature.
It was
really
I have been
mature.
reading it since the 80s. It
Dude,
never
it's
was a
very
mature
mature.
reader's
Dude,
It was
title.
mature.
We'll
It was mature.
get William in here, man.
Whoa.
Oh no,
Raven
William
as-
said in the backstage chat that it was always mature. He was wrong.
Raven alone as a character is what is probably one of the best parts of Teen Titans, and what made that those comic books mature.
That was never a Vertigo title. That was always a title that was aimed at teenagers.
Well, nobody's
quite
saying it's a
frankly.
Vertigo. See, but here's the thing, though.
But you don't drop F-bombs in a.
They don't drop a lot of
The
F-bombs
one
in the
thing I
comics
don't like
anyways.
about
But
Titans
here's the
Exactly.
thing: if you get a bunch of 20-something-year-old, it's not. First of all, it's not Teen Titans either. This is Titans. This is not Teen Titans. This is not Kid Titans. This is not Kid Robin. This is Dick Grayson as a grown man. This is everybody pretty much as grown adults, except for like what Raven, who is what she is now.
14.
Can I also just say the 2000 show was kind of mature in the sense that it was not like some little kiddie thing. There was
it was
serious
dark.
moments.
Yeah, the cartoon.
It was
Yeah,
dark.
The cartoon was dark. Okay, very dark.
Even like looking at the ending of that show, it was mature.
You don't have Slade be one of your main villains and then be a kiddie show. Like,
It wasn't inappropriate for kids though. My teenage daughter, who's she's 13, she can watch the Teen Titans cartoon. We won't let her watch Titans.
Well, yeah,
and she wants to because she loves those characters.
I get that, Joe, and I understand. Look, and honestly, like you guys know what I do outside of this, right? So I get that, but you know what? I don't have a problem with there being that version of these characters because that
it actually has good.
It's
writing.
a realistic take on who those characters would be. This is not Teen Titans Go live action. This is Titans. This is a real life situation, thing. And so like I love the fact that it's as brutal as it is sometimes. When I saw Robin, man, like rub, scraping people's faces down, buildings and stuff in that first, episode and stuff, man, that I was like, yes, this is what's going to get me excited about these characters.
I want to say something cool.
Characters.
What's that? This is Nightwing from my fan film.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long ago, Droga?
What's that?
How long ago?
That was like we're still filming the film. This was filmed like 3 months ago, and doing a little fight scene.
That's pretty good.
That's cool, man.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
That.
Real quick here,
The
Peter
thing
Rabbit
about
Defender with
Titans is that
$1.99.
the thing about Titans, I wish Wally West was on the show. Like, where is Wally? Like, you referenced the Flash, Batman, Wonder Woman,
Sure.
Superman, but where is Wally?
I mean,
like, where's Wally? You need Wally in the show.
I mean, my thing is like, just look at what they're doing for like.
And season 3 was not that great either.
I mean, just look at what they're doing for like Beast Boy, where how he was stuck as just a tiger for most of
Terrible.
That's
budget.
It's just budget. That's what I mean. Like that's why we haven't seen Wally. Because
honestly, I don't want it. What they've done to some of the characters, leave them at home.
Yeah, Peter Rabbit's Defender here with a $1.99 super chat says Nokia 6600 was awesome in 2004 and appeared in Cellular 04. That's awesome. Ooh, what's this?
Oh, I did a drawing today. I finished it. It's a Batman and Nightwing.
That's cool, man. That's really
Man.
cool. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Really
but
good.
like, come on, like, I mean, you could bring Wally in the show, but not use. He could like, if the CW could do a speedster, why they cannot do speedster? That doesn't make sense.
No, North Star here, man. North Star likes to just like I feel like North Star, like you're just like you're like the cop like who waits behind the billboard. And you're just like ooh, Enosh said something. Ooh, I'm gonna jump on it. Like, you know.
He's a little elitist, isn't he? Too. He's a little elitist.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, you know, I see his
comments.
comments. I see his comments in my, you know, like after the videos are done and everything. Every once in a while, he jumps in here with a, you know, like an actual comment or whatever. But, you know, look here. No, listen, I'm not saying that everything has to be edgy, because I don't have to have everything edgy. What I'm saying is I do like the realistic approach to things. And I'll be honest with you, I never got into Teen Titans Go because it was a kiddie show, right? It was not something that I was going to watch because I was not into that at that point in my life. Okay. It's not that I don't like kiddie shows, because I do like kiddie shows. My gosh. Every time Joe starts talking about Sesame Street, dude, that was my jam, dude. I watched Sesame Street, like, cause I had two younger sisters. We watched Sesame Street up through my teens. Like, I watched Mr. Rogers. I watched shows like Square One and, you know, the Electric Company and like all those things growing up. So no, everything doesn't have to be,
So
edgy.
you telling me you watched Shazam from the 70s?
What's that?
Yes.
You watched Shazam from the 70s?
I watched Shazam from the 70s. Yeah, it was in the early 80s when it was on like repeats and stuff like that, you know, but
yeah.
But I mean, I remember watching
Superboy?
George Reeves' Superman. I mean, I watched Batman, you know, the 60s Batman, because that was on repeats and stuff, you know, when I was a kid and stuff, you know. And so
What about Superboy?
Oh, dude, Superboy was my jam. That Superboy series, I love that Superboy series. Now, I love seasons. I love seasons 2. I love seasons 2, 3, and 4 more than I like John Newton's first season.
Gerard Christopher was the better of the two.
Gerard Christopher was amazing in that, and I love Gerard Christopher in that.
As my response to like this, it's like even if we like taking like it's edgy, and I don't like Titans as a whole myself, but even with like we look at like these characters' origins, Raven is literally the daughter of an interdimensional demon. You know, you have, you know, Starfire, who's been through like they all have like they've all have had terrible things done in their life to get into this point. Like literally from the start, you know, you already know Dick Grayson is, you know, he's in a bad place. And overall, what I would have preferred to see is over time they do kind of, you know, I don't mind them being edgy now, but maybe like over time, you know, you could have like, you know, made them a bit lighter, because, you know, these are people that are fixing their own problems as a, you know, as a family, as a you know, as a unit now, rather than having to like carry all that weight as a whole. So it's not about like, I guess for me, it's not about like it's overly edgy. It's like it has to be done right in that case.
You humanize them. You bring them along with all their complexities and realism. It makes the viewer care more. Because if you are just going off flippantly and they're going in different directions and you can't follow along and empathize and relate to the characters in a way, you're not going to care.
Yeah.
I just say leave out the profanity and leave out the sex and the profanity. It could be just as edgy as a PG-13. Like I know
you can have the sex.
The show that really bothers me. The show that really bothers me with the profanity is Star Trek Picard, because it doesn't fit. I don't think it fits in Titans. I don't think it fits in Star Trek Picard. And to me, I always call it fake maturity. I always call it immature maturity. Like, oh, look, we're mature. We're dropping F-bombs. It's like, you know where I first heard F-bombs? First grade into grade school, like in the schoolyard. That doesn't make you mature. It's just.
No, I agree. On Star Trek, it's a little stranger for me on Star Trek, because I feel like on Star Trek, like that was never a part of that, and like they didn't really use that type of language. And I always felt like Star Trek as a whole kind of like is this utopian society where I kind of feel like they probably moved beyond that. you know, using some of that language. So it is kind of weird hearing some people drop F-bombs on Star Trek. But you know, and look, I'll be the first one to admit, like, I feel like some of the DC product that is out there right now that's live action, I'll be the first to admit it does rely way too much on F-bombs and, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I was watching Peacemaker tonight and I love Peacemaker. I'm really enjoying the show actually. But
are you talking about the Batman part?
well, not yet. I haven't, but like I was counting and like I just started like counting up F-bombs being used in Peacemaker tonight, for example, right? And it's like, you know, like I do feel like it relies on that a little too heavily, maybe just to try to be edgy or, you know, whatever. And I don't feel like it has to. But you know, and you know, like even with that, like, you know, Peacemaker tonight, like the episode was called the Scrode Less Traveled or whatever, you know, or Chode, the Chode Less Traveled. And it's like, okay, lot of penis jokes. It's James Gunn though, you know, and it's like, I don't know that it's, you know, that it has to be that way. You know, but it is right now. And that's what they're, you know, they're going in this. It's kind of weird that even in their kind of like flashier, kind of more colorful renditions, even with like Peacemaker and stuff, that they're still doing that.
Peacemaker's not colorful though. It's dark and edgy.
Do you think they're pushing the envelope to see what they could get away with every episode, Enosh?
I don't know. I think it's just James Gunn. I think he's just got like a weird, like, kind of way of looking things. And I think it's kind of that, you know, I don't want to say immature, but but I understand what Joe is saying. Like, you know, you know, it does kind of feel like sometimes like it's just kind of going to that lowest kind of common denominator instead of actually like utilizing good, you know, and like I said, I know people who use that language all the time, so I don't want to just act like, well, you know, it's just like, well, anybody who uses that kind of language, you're just, you know, immature or whatever. But I also think on TV, like, you don't always have to drop an F-bomb to get your point across.
Right, right. And that's the thing. I know people who use that language all the time too, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't offend me, but I just feel like there's a time and a place for everything.
I agree with Joe for like the aspects of like when he said you know, you don't have to have all the cursing and all the sex. Those are the two I can live without. Like if you put an F-bomb in like not even every episode, you put it in like once every few episodes, I don't really care for it. But you know, the sex part you can get rid of. You know, but I see it as just like, you know, this is a CW and they mostly have a, you know, demographic of teenagers, so, or not teenager and up to adults. So I guess it's more for the maturity factor, or what CW calls the maturity factor for their shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. Here we've got Peter Rabbit's Defender in here once again with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says Zack Snyder would do heart scene for Robin and Dove. Oh, love scene for Robin.
I think you
and
mean
Dove,
a
more
sex
stylish.
scene with Robin and Dove.
Maybe.
Yeah. But like,
you know,
I mean, the Titans is written by Batman and Robin writers, which I don't know how they're still working on WB. And a couple, like some episodes of Jeff Johns wrote. Like I don't like season 3 was not that good. The first 3 episodes is good, then it went downhill after that. I just hope, for the Lord of God, bring Wally West into the show. Just do it.
Anthony,
everybody been asking for it.
Do you think CW has got the leash around their necks, is in limited on what they are allowed to use character-wise?
So what?
Do you think that the studio is stopping them from using certain characters or bringing them up?
You mean like an embargo? That's what they used to do for like the old DC cartoons. Like,
well, the thing is, we haven't. Okay, so on the Flash TV show, we haven't seen Wally since season 6, 5 seasons. I think season 6 or 7. I can't remember.
Well, the guy who played Wally left the show.
No, he come back. Well,
he went to Legends for a brief period.
Yeah,
of time.
he went to
like,
Legends.
switched
No,
over
well,
to
hold on.
Legends.
He went to Legends for a period of time, and then he came back to the Flash for a minute. But he went on. He moved on. That was what he did. He moved on. He didn't want to get stuck playing the character all the time.
He's on another show now, isn't he?
What's that?
He's on a different TV.
Yeah, he's
show.
on a different show now. Yeah, he just moved on. That's why they did that.
No, I think if whatever the Flash ends, you're gonna see Wally West back.
Well, I'm sure because everybody who's been like part of the Flash TV show, they act like a family, right? They seem really like a family. I think the thing is like a show like the Flash that goes on over any show that goes on 7, 8 seasons.
It's gonna be Smallville. It's gonna be.
You're gonna start losing people. You know, I mean, look, Cisco was the heart of that show for like the longest time. And
the actor won another job. He went like
people want to be able to move. Well, you know who else? What's his name? Who played Reverse Flash? Tom Cavanaugh. Tom Cavanaugh was one of the most exciting parts of that show. You know, I mean, and I even thought that I would start to get sick of seeing him play a different version of Wells every year.
No,
I actually started looking forward to seeing like what he was going to do the next year because he was so amazing as an actor. In all of that, I
think DC should hire him to play a DC villain in a movie.
Oh, he's great.
I didn't know they left.
And unfortunately, Hartley Sawyer is gone too, and he was, I think, the best character on that show. I get why he's not there anymore, but but he was so good.
And
that was them getting caught up in. Yeah, that's a whole other thing, but yeah, I mean,
I think some people would determine that to be overkill.
I don't know. I'll tell you why.
Well, if they can forgive James Gunn for tweets and stuff like that, they should be able to get over that one too.
Here's the thing, though: when James Gunn, when his tweets came out, the entire cast of Guardians of the Galaxy came out to back him up. Every single one of them said, "That's not James. That's not James." I noticed on the Flash, not a single person spoke up for Hartley Sawyer.
But that's like, come on, that's messed up. Like, you've been knowing these people since season 4 of the Flash, and they're not gonna back you up. Like, come on, that's something. That's something.
But I don't know how much of that though was him or the fact that look,
his tweets from 12 years ago.
The cast of the Flash and the cast of most of the CW shows is pretty. They're pretty much one way leaning. You know what I mean? And I can, I don't know if they would necessarily be like the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy come into somebody or somebody's defense.
Yeah,
or
but
they
we've
would
been knowing this guy since season 4. Been working with him for 4 years in the show. You telling me that you're not gonna come up and say like, oh, he changed. He's not the same person he used to be. Like, come on.
And I'm also pretty sure that the person who played Killer Frost on the show, recently I think she's pregnant now,
with her 2 babies.
Yeah, so maybe she might be leaving the show as well, or maybe like.
Well, this will be the second child that she's had on the show. So she was pregnant for the longest time, and they for a couple seasons ago, and they kept hiding it. Yeah. Oh yeah. She was pregnant a couple seasons ago, and they kept hiding. I agree with Oz here. Oz, I agree with you. Adult content is nice times. I like to see mature versions of these characters. I don't want to see just live versions of like with Titans, for example. Like, I don't want to just see Teen Titans go, cartoony, thing,
but there's an in-between ground though. Like,
there
you can
is.
make it like
There
the
is.
Titans comics, which
There
aren't
is.
dropping F-bombs and having everyone
everything
jamming
also,
each other.
but also they're not going to do that in comics though, because comics are a completely different medium, right? So, like, for example, in Batman v Superman, where in Zack Snyder's Justice League, when Batman drops an F-bomb, it feels like an earned F-bomb.
I will fucking kill you. Yeah.
Right. But it feels
disagree.
earned. Okay. Well, but see, okay. But Joe, do you ever think that there's a time where an F-bomb is justified?
I thought it was justified.
I think it's justified in a property where it has precedent. Like, for example, if you're making Preacher, you're making Doom Patrol, stuff like that, I think it fits. But when you're doing the Justice League characters or any of the, honestly, as much as I love the Suicide Squad, I kind of don't feel like that should have been rated R. I kind of feel like these aren't R-rated. The first
the
movie was
Suicide
rated
Squad,
PG-13,
I mean,
excuse me,
and look how bad that was.
Well, how bad it was a hit. It made a lot of money, and then the audience who went to see it couldn't go see the second one.
That's why he's crazy, Joe.
We love him. We love him. We love him.
I'm just speaking facts.
Well, you know, I don't agree with that because
look at Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey would have been a much bigger hit if that had a PG-13 rating.
No, Birds of Prey would have been better if they had characters like garbage.
My thing is,
I won't go there either because I do agree with Joe. I don't have the problem with Birds of Prey that a lot of people have with Birds of Prey. I feel like Birds of Prey. I love the egg sandwich. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that Birds of Prey is terrible. I think that Birds of Prey has its
It's
own
the worst
place.
DC film ever.
Certified fresh.
I wouldn't say it's that bad.
I wouldn't say it's that bad.
I wouldn't say it's that bad.
That bad. It's entertaining, just not great.
Yeah, it's just
well
not. It's a big pile of meh.
It's not what everybody expected it to be, you know. And they did take some liberties with it, and I'll be the first to admit that. You know, but the thing is, if I just look at it for what it is, I actually really like it, and I've watched it several times. I own it, and you know, I'm very. I'll be honest with you at this point. I am not there. There was a point where I got really defensive about a bunch of stuff, and I would just say, it's just trash.
Hi, man, that's trash.
I just look at things differently these days. I don't look at everything as just trash from that standpoint anymore. I just feel like I have to look at things for what they are. And with her, for example, I mean, I think that movie had other issues though, Joe, other than just the fact that it was rated R. Because look, making any movie rated R,
the title was a mistake too.
The title was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you got to understand if you make a movie rated R, that fits within that, you know, that genre, you're not going to make as much necessarily maybe as you would have otherwise. But I will say this though, it depends upon the movie too, because look, Deadpool, absolutely fine, rated R, and much needed. Much, you know, Deadpool. I'll very much stand behind the point that Deadpool needed to be rated R. It was good that it was rated R.
Too.
Oh,
I mean, it works. It works as a rated R movie, but it certainly didn't need to be rated R.
I will.
Do you,
I will box
do you
Joe.
realize that
Deadpool? Yeah, Deadpool absolutely did not need to be rated R. Absolutely did not.
I agree to disagree.
You are crazy.
Honestly, if you guys say it does, I'm going to tell you flat out, you don't know comics. Because Deadpool is a character who was introduced in the New Mutants. It was not a mature titles book. It was not a Marvel Max book. It was not a mature titles.
No, it's an adaptation.
Yeah, I know, and I'm saying that the R rating worked, but it did not require an R rating.
That's it. The R rating worked.
Yes, but I said it didn't need it though.
Joe, do you realize they released a PG-13 version and it fell at the box office of Deadpool?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, dude, you're Anthony, you're
bring it up, bro.
Lag. He's got the
Anthony, you're cutting out, buddy. We couldn't hear you.
He's got the Australian Wi-Fi.
Who, me? I don't.
No, me.
No, Anthony Beltran.
Belgium. Wait, you're Australian?
I'm an Aussie, mate. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Lord Slugger says worse than Superman 4 and Batman and Robin. Hell no, Birds of Prey is fine.
I'll agree. I'll agree. Both. I think it's Birds of Prey is better than this. My only the only reason why I'll ever watch Birds of Prey is just for Renee Montoya. That's it. That's the only reason why I'll ever watch that movie again.
Yeah, look, I understand, Joe. I understand why you like the stuff that you like. I'm just saying, Deadpool was the phenomenon that it was because of where they went with it. Otherwise, it's just any other PG-13 Ryan. Yeah, I mean it's nothing special then. The fact that they went there with that movie, that they took it outside of its typical thing in the movies. I don't think that you can use I hear you using the comics as like a reason to say that it shouldn't be that way, but dude,
well, I didn't say it
comics
shouldn't be that way.
Comics
I
are
just
one
said
thing.
it doesn't need to be that way.
Well, I'd also say, like, even if we like use that excuse, is like, well, in the original comics, Deadpool wasn't like this. This isn't like back in the day Deadpool. This is our current Deadpool at our.
But
current moment.
even the current Deadpool isn't published under a mature reader's label. He's not dropping F-bombs all the time.
But he's murdering people.
Well, yeah.
So,
but you can murder people in a PG-13.
Yeah, but you can't be as gory as Deadpool comics are.
Maybe not.
And I think that when Disney acquired the rights to Deadpool in the takeover, the stipulation that was probably put to them by Ryan Reynolds in the planning for Deadpool 3, when it does happen, because it will happen.
Yeah.
They're not going to be saying, oh, we're going to pussyfoot around and not, go with, our original intended plans, because if they put out a film that is less than what it should be, the fans will revolt.
Yeah, I don't want to see Disney put out a Deadpool movie that's not rated R at this point.
Oh, and they won't. But when Deadpool shows up in an Avengers movie, if he does, he's going to be rated PG-13, and people will still enjoy it. People will still be glad he's there.
But I bet there's a wink to the audience, though. I bet you there's a wink to the audience. And you know what I would even love to see, Joe, in that when he does show up in something like that, I would love for them to censor him.
Oh yeah, well they did that. Did you see Once Upon a Deadpool?
No, I never saw Once Upon a Deadpool because I felt like I didn't have a reason to.
Oh no, you got to see it because that's rated PG-13 and it's actually more foul than the R-rated version because they keep censoring him, but they censor him at times when he's not saying anything obscene. So therefore, things that aren't obscene sound obscene. Like there's a whole scene where Fred Savage is going on about how he wants to fight Wolverine, but every time he says fight, they beep him out. So it sounds far more foul than it ever should.
Really? Well, and that's fine. I just think it's, like I would love to see that. Like I would love to see like Deadpool show up and get censored in in an Avengers movie or a X-Men movie or something like that. And then he's the only one who knows because that's one thing I do, he still needs to be aware, right? Like I don't want them to go over the top on it, where it's like, he's constantly looking at the camera or he's constantly doing whatever, but I do want him to be aware. Hey, now I love Integrity. Integrity is just watching William down there. Look at William. He's just thinking. He's processing.
I don't know what we're doing.
I got a hard out at 3. And we're at
hey now.
Yeah,
hey,
well, me and Matt
Uncle Traveling Matt there,
man. We got plans, man. We got plans. But no, I got to be going at 3, and it's like 2:30. So, do you mind if I bring up the thing I'm most amped about this week?
Yeah, we can go there. We can go back to whatever the conversation is about R-rated superheroes if we want to. But yeah, I will say this. Let's put this on the table so that we can come back to it. Is Batman a P word?
Yes. No wait.
So we'll come back to that. But yes, I do want to give Uncle Traveling Matt a chance to come up for air from Joe's crotch there. I think it's hilarious that Joe is telling us all not to be raunchy, but yet he got pretty busy there with Uncle Traveling Matt there in his crotch there.
Oh.
Yes,
so disturbing.
Yes, I did.
So disturbing. But yes, there is
treated his junk like a doozer construction.
And I'm
so I got to ask the question because I grew up with it. Did anybody else grow up with Fraggle Rock, or are you aware of Fraggle Rock?
I'm aware of it.
Fraggle Rock.
It was on the cable that I had in my house. I'll put it there.
I haven't. I've seen the Muppets, but not Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock was something I remember as a kid because when I lived in Vegas, we stayed at an apartment complex that had free HBO. And so that was right. It was right at the time that that this show came out, and this was a regular part of my. I mean, this was one of the regular shows
Is
that I
this a
grew up on.
revival?
This is a revival, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a new Fraggle Rock. Now, Joe, have you seen it?
Oh my God! It was supposed to debut tomorrow, and they dropped all 13 episodes
And this is
Thursday night and surprised everybody.
And
So
this
I
is
have now
also on
watched.
Apple TV. This is also on
Yes.
Apple TV, and I'm kind of surprised by that because didn't the Fraggles go with the rest of the Muppets?
Oh no.
No.
The Henson Company. Okay, first of all, the original Fraggle Rock was the first ever. And here's my Blu-rays of the original series. The first ever original series made exclusively for HBO. But
Yeah.
HBO did not own it. You know, a lot of you go on HBO Max, you can watch almost any HBO show ever, but not Fraggle Rock because the Jim Henson Company retained the rights to it, and they sold the rights over a year ago. It's been streaming for over a year on Apple TV Plus, the original series.
So does Henson still own it?
The Henson Company still owns it. That's why the classic Muppet Christmas, Muppet Family Christmas, where the Sesame Street Gang, the Muppets, and the Fraggles all are together. You couldn't do that today because Sesame Workshop owns the Sesame Street characters, Disney owns the Muppet characters, and the Henson Company still retains ownership of the Fraggles. So the ownership is splintered now. But early in the pandemic, they brought the Fraggles back with a series of shorts called Fraggle Rock On, where the Fraggles were in quarantine and talking to each other through like magic crystals. And it went over so big that Apple TV was like, damn, let's greenlight a series. So now, Fraggle Rock, Back to the Rock, surprisingly premiered Thursday night. It was supposed to be today, Friday, but no, the first all 13 episodes went up last night, and I've seen the pilot. And
So I got to ask you the question, though. I got to ask you a question because we got Aussies in here, and we got a good Aussie following. So the original series ended with the old guy who had the workshop that they had the Fraggle hole, right? They had the Fraggle hole, and so the whole time the Fraggles didn't really know the humans, and the humans didn't know the Fraggles, but the dog would go back and forth or whatever, and the dog knew that the Fraggles existed, and it was this whole play on things, and it was a weird kind of mystical world where it would go back and forth, and like at each end of the Fraggle hole cave system, there was the human side, which was outer space. And then there was the Gorgs, the
Gorgs garden,
and all that stuff. But at the end of the series, they ended up in Australia.
Well,
because the one dude moves to Australia with his dog, but by that time he had met the Fraggles, and he knew that the Fraggles existed, but he was moving, and so he moves and he ends up in an apartment. And there's a box up against the wall, and he's talking to the dog, and he says, I bet if we just wished and hoped enough that there's a Fraggle hole behind there that there would be. And they all of a sudden the box moves, and all these Fraggles come out, and basically they followed him to Australia. So there were Fraggles down under, but that was pretty much the last word on it. I mean, is this a continuation, or is this like a total reboot?
Well, this is not a continuation. It is a complete reboot. The first episode starts with Uncle Traveling Mac going into outer space again for the first time. We have a brand new Doc who is now a black woman. The new Doc is a black woman, and she lives with Sprocket now. But what's interesting about the original Fraggle Rock was it was an international production, and every country had their own version of Doc and Sprocket. Like we in America and Canada saw the character of Doc when Gobo would come out of the hole. But in England, it was a lighthouse keeper named the Captain. In France, it was a chef who lived with Sprocket.
Really?
So I don't even know who the old guy was in the Australian version.
No. It was the same dude. That was how Fraggle Rock ended.
Well, no. I know that's how it ended for us in America and Canada, but I don't know what the Australian version of the show looked like. because the show, the part in Fraggle Rock with the Muppets was always the same, but the humans were specific to the culture.
Now I will say this: there's one episode of Fraggle Rock, which was the scary cave episode, where it was like, what was that one called?
The Terrible Tunnel.
The terrible. Maybe that was what it. I remember just being freaked out by it when I was a kid. Like, it scared the crap out of me. There was like one. It was like some haunted cave kind of thing, and but I loved Fraggle Rock, man. Fraggle Rock was fun, man. They had songs. They had, it was upbeat. As a kid, I loved it.
Well, I gotta tell you,
you could always watch, because if you didn't have cable, you didn't have HBO, at least here in America, until the late 80s, when they actually started, broadcasting on different things.
That's another thing. Apple has made the pilot episode, like I said, all 13 episodes are streaming right now, but Apple has made the pilot episode free to stream for everyone, whether you're an Apple TV Plus subscriber or not.
Really?
And I got to tell you, man, it is a really amazing production, because the original Fraggle Rock was done mostly on green screen. When they were down in Fraggle Rock, the backgrounds were mostly fake. And the new production is you can watch them. They're all up there. Like, it's every time you see them going through the tunnels aren't really there. It's all green screened.
Really?
But when you watch,
I knew that there was a lot of green screen there, but I didn't think that all of it was. Wow.
Well, I think the main sets of like Gobo and Wembley's, home where they lived, that was a set, and the main like square of Fraggle Rock was a set. But anytime they were traveling through the tunnels, it was all green screened.
Okay.
The new production,
is
incredibly. It looks so much better than the original. Like the sets, like John Tartaglia is the producer of the new Fraggle Rock. He's also the new Gobo. Two of the original puppeteers are back. Dave Goles, who we all know as Gonzo from the Muppets, he's back as Traveling Matt and Boober. And Karen Prell, who was the original Red Fraggle, she's back. Jerry Nelson, who was the original Gobo, he passed away. And Steve Whitmire is on the outs with the Henson Company. He was the original Gobo and Sprocket. So you've got two of the original puppeteers back, otherwise new puppeteers, and John Tartaglia is the new Gobo. He's the producer, and he's been sharing on his Instagram and his Twitter feed pictures of the sets. And I was looking at those pictures like, this looks amazing, just looking at the pictures. And when you see them in action, the series looks so much better than the original series did. It's a lavish production. Apple spent some money on this.
Well, there you go. I mean, again, that's another win for Apple. We were talking about that. Now they got they just won this thing from Legendary over for Godzilla and all that. I mean, and now this was originally an HBO production. And that's interesting to me. That's but look, like we said earlier, man, Apple's spending some cash. They're going to have this. They're going to have Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is
Amazon.
Godzilla
thing, though.
What's that?
The Godzilla animation thing, right?
It's not animated, dude. It's live action.
For Godzilla?
Yeah, it's live action.
I am surprised they took a flyer on that, because the problem with Godzilla, and if it hadn't been for the fact that Godzilla vs. Kong wasn't pretty much all the way through production, Godzilla King of the Monsters was going to kill that franchise. The only reason we got Godzilla vs. Kong is because it was already through so much of production and so much money had already been spent. But I'm surprised that there's not even a guarantee that they're talking MonsterVerse, but it's like trepidly, it's not like like they were when 2014 when Godzilla, the first movie, first came out. Remember all that stuff that they had planned, and every 2 years we were supposed to get a Godzilla movie, and then it's just like
But William, why do you think King of Monsters was going to kill the franchise though?
Because there was no plans after what it did on the box office. There was no plans to go forward other than what they had already done. And if Godzilla vs. Kong hadn't have done a certain number, there wouldn't be no more talk of it. But
how much did it make?
King of the Monsters, I think. Let me look it up. Hold on.
Godzilla vs. Kong did much better than King of the Monsters.
Yeah, but at the time,
I know
the hopes for Godzilla were not good.
Exactly.
So,
While you're looking that up, Peter Rabbit's Defender, thank you, sir, with another $9.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. Says the Batman has been confirmed that it will have nearly 3-hour runtime. Yep, we actually we spent about 3 hours on that last night. No, we talked about that. Yeah, 3-hour runtime. While I'm excited about 3-hour Batman film, I felt bad for Zack Snyder, the WB axing BVS in cinema and Ayer for Suicide Squad. Double standard much? Well, here's the thing too. This is the way we got to look at it. A couple of things with this, and we kind of talked about this last night. Peter Rabbit's Defender is the fact that one, it's a different time. The 2-hour thing with Justice League and them cutting the half hour out of BVS was stupid. Chopping up David Ayer's Suicide Squad was stupid. But they were trying to skimp by. Hopefully they've learned something at this point to get out of their own way and let it does suck that it's possibly taken this for some of them to allow this. I said on Max's stream tonight, the only problem that I have with this is not that it's finally we're like getting a 3-hour Batman film. It's just that like we just saw a 3-hour Avengers film, and that's because it had like all these different characters, all these different plot points, all these different things. It'll be interesting to see if like it needs 3 hours to actually tell this story, or if it's if it's a self-indulgent story. Because I know today Grace Randolph, and I know it's Grace Randolph, I don't always agree with everything she says, but she was talking about like the viewing for it was that the first 2 acts made sense. It was good. People were talking about how the first 2 acts, it went well. Was weak. Yeah, but the third act was really weak and seemed like a really, just a tack on to it. And so, I don't know. I don't know that I'm willing to call it a double standard as much as I am. Maybe hopefully they learn something from it. But my biggest thought at this point is I just want it to be good. And my hope is that in giving Matt Reeves, carte blanche to do whatever he wanted, that it doesn't go too far, kind of like they did with the Suicide Squad by James Gunn, where it was like, they were running ads, from the beautiful mind of James Gunn. Nobody cares. Like
nobody cares about that trash.
Just give me a good movie. Just give me a good film. Just give me something that I enjoy watching. I don't care about stroking the ego of the director or whatever. I don't need all that. Just give me a good film. And so hopefully that 3 hours or that 2 hours and 45 minutes or 46 minutes, whatever, plus 10 minutes of credits. Hopefully they utilize that to the best of their ability. Peter Rabbit's Defender. That's all we can hope at this point.
I agree.
Back
to
the
budget of the song.
The budget for Godzilla King of the Monsters was 170 million to 200 million. It pulled in a box office of 386 million. That's awful. That's bad. That's people getting fired and people don't get opportunities on other projects bad.
And that's all legendary.
75%.
75%. Yeah.
75% of the money was put forth by Legend. They got their money. They get their money back though. It's the company. The companies are the big loser because they get their money back plus interest, and then there's buyouts and all that. But yeah, that's for what they spent to make that money and what that money made. Had Godzilla versus Kong not already been as far along as it was, that movie wouldn't have been made.
Yeah.
So luckily they were doing it at the same time. They were doing a back-to-back production, or else we wouldn't have gotten G versus K. And I'm surprised.
I agree.
The money Godzilla versus Kong made is actually kind of staggering because it made in a pandemic more than the entire box office run of King of the Monsters did in a non-pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which is, like I said, for a movie that almost wouldn't have gotten made based on its predecessor, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
it's not bad. I mean, yeah.
No, the box office for the King of the Monsters, like that makes people disappear. Those kind of numbers, those kind of dividends, that's the kind of guy. Whatever happened to that guy? That's those kind of numbers. and you see them pop up at like an indie, but and investors too. And what that does is when movies don't do well like that, if the trust between investors and people who put up the money, it gets harder for Legendary to gather up people to say, hey, plop down some cash for this when your returns are going to be like this. It's like,
that launches a classic debate too, William, because a lot of people on the internet like to bash Zack Snyder's Justice League because it didn't make enough money. But if that had been given a proper cinema run without COVID restrictions, without any of that, if they had to hit IMAX, they had to hit the cinemas all over the world, it would have made history.
Well, and here's another thing: the argument, the argument is almost a non-argument, because what Zack Snyder's Justice League does is add value to, once again, to a streaming service that makes box office not even relevant to that point. So no matter what it could have made, the fact that it did whatever numbers it did on HBO Max justified it altogether right there. I mean, you could have put it in theaters. It would have been cool for us to be able to see it in IMAX how he met us to see it. But the fact that it brought value and to the streaming service, which was a top priority, which is why they spent the $70 million. It's already, like I say, I hear that too. I hear a lot of guys who are been around a long time. They're making the dinosaur argument. They're making the box office argument. It's like they're making the Earth is flat argument. The base trying to put the box office in that type of relevance right now is literally like trying to argue that the Earth is flat and that the moon landing never happened. It all happened out in the deserts of Vegas. That's where that argument is right now.
Jeremy was talking about me on your Discord. I'm guessing Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers.
No, dude, don't engage. Don't engage.
No, it's just funny. It's just funny to me. Point Dexter Lang. He called it.
Wait, what?
Don't feel bad. I got called Crazy Jack on a stream.
You know what I always think about. You know what I always think is funny about this. There is no T in Point Dexter.
If you're gonna troll, man, at least don't suck at it.
I know, like, come on.
Well, is Jeremy trolling? I thought he was your good buddy now.
Hey, look.
I think you were G.I. Joe pals.
Look, if you think that's funny, that's great. I don't.
No one does.
And you know what? And here's the thing, Jeremy. You know what I think is funny about that? Like most is funny about that is the fact that people think that like Jeremy and I are like this or whatever at each other. Like we had our debate. Jeremy knows how I feel about some things, but I literally just talked to Jeremy 2 weeks ago on Max's stream, and we've had conversations, and I helped him out with some G.I. Joe stuff. I just find it's funny. I
don't know what Discord are you talking about?
I don't know.
I don't think Jeremy's even on Discord half the time.
Oh, by the way, Enosh, my prediction came true.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. I gotta laugh.
Oh no, here we go.
Hold on. No, this is all I'm gonna talk about this, and then I'm just gonna let this go. That's what he called it. He says he was telling us about how you kept DMing him to get you on his show.
This is dumb.
Well, first of all, this is not true because I can show you the DMs. I have never DM'd Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers at all. Jeremy reached out to me. You can see it happen live on that episode of 2 Cents on Nonsense because literally he was
trying to stir up stuff.
I know, but if this is true, it does make me laugh because
it's not though.
Because we were doing the show live. And Jeremy came into our chat and was like, "Hey, let me in." And I was like, "I don't believe that's really him." And then, like, literally, he was
literally the same way it happened with Max. I don't know. I don't know, man. I just said your beard sucked, Jeremy. You got to get serious.
He said because Jeremy doesn't lie.
Because Jeremy doesn't lie, dude. You know what? You believe whatever you want to believe. Unless I hear Jeremy say it, I wouldn't.
I don't believe Jeremy would.
Jeremy and I had a fine back and forth there. He actually opened up his DM to actually send that to me. I've never requested DMs from Jeremy. Even Nerdrotic, I've never even had a.
Oh God! Here we go.
I've never even had a.
Why would you? Please.
Why would
I? I've dealt with these dudes, man. I'm telling you, they do the same thing every time.
Oh, dude, trust me. I've been dealing with these people like for so long now.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I got this straight though. Nerdrotic mentioned on his stream that you DM'd Jeremy.
That'd be weird.
Why is he talking about Jeremy's?
That'd be
That
strange.
doesn't even make sense.
That'd be strange.
Dude, you can't even get your trolls straight. Go get a job.
Come on, man.
But
Good
Enosh, I gotta
job.
tell you, my prediction came true. Ethan Van Sciver has started complaining about Scream 5 now. Just as I said he would.
Wow, that's. I mean, he's an incredibly talented artist. He's just kind of a d-bag.
Yeah. No, no. You know what? I have listened behind the scenes. I've had nothing but an okay conversation with Jeremy, but Jeremy was the one who approached us because of the whole.
The whole
thing.
You know what? Yeah, Chris
And it was fun.
Jeremy
And it was fun. It was fun.
Chris and Jeremy DM. So if you want me to waste 5 minutes of my life having Chris ask this incredibly stupid question, I'll do it, and we can come back and have a conversation about this.
Yeah, this Samuel person is a liar, bro.
And you're doing nothing but make yourself look stupid, and your figure.
No, he got what he wanted though. He got what he wanted. It's a waste of time.
He wanted a response.
Yeah, he doesn't look stupid. He's not. It's a bot account. He'll delete it afterwards anyway.
Godzilla versus Kong pulled in 467 on a $200 million budget, which would, like Joe said, considering that it was a pandemic, that was huge.
Impressive.
But the bigger money for that is the amount of streams it got on HBO Max. I wonder what was worth more to HBO, the streams, the content that was driven by it, or the actual money, because some of that money had to go mostly back to Legendary, what they made, so they didn't really make any money off it.
Even if it's on HBO, they gotta find a way to pay him back.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's why a lot of this stuff is going to end up. A lot of these big movies are going to end up going to HBO Max, because why am I giving Legendary 75% of anything if I can control everything on my platform? I've cut out the theaters. I've cut out the middleman. I mean, advertising budget. When you're on streaming, you really don't need an advertising budget. The streaming platform itself is a strategy. How many commercials do you see for Netflix shows? Not very many, but they get watched.
Yeah.
What the heck was that?
What the fuck? Yeah.
What was that?
We got mood music now.
Is that
Here,
you?
Via StreamYard.
Anyway,
so we could listen to the great.
Do you have the Star Wars? I sat down and met an old Obi song.
No, you know what? So now this is apparently a new thing from StreamYard that I hadn't seen before. Now they have background music. So
is that what's going on?
This is
called background music?
Yeah, now
That
this is
feels
called
good, Will.
acoustic cinematic.
Oh my god! I gotta totally.
This is called dance pop. Hold on a second. This is called dance pop. Hold on, what is this?
Oh, you were doing that. I'm like,
Do they have custom songs? Because if they have custom songs, it's gonna be.
Nah, they probably have copyright and stuff.
No, there's
I'll
none
take
copyright.
the claim,
There's
man.
none copyright.
This is daydreaming.
You got the Fraggle.
Don't use Hotel California. I learned that the hard way.
This is called Feeding the Ducks.
That
So we can all get our groove on while we're talking about, different topics. This is called Into Space. See, this is for you, Uncle Traveling Matt. Going into outer space.
Just don't play anything woke.
Well, we know how woke you are sitting down there in Joe's lap, so if you're not, you'll wake up real quick. This is called Lo-Fi.
Enosh, you know it's crazy. They add music for they can add members super chats. How that
Right?
makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. This one's called Night Driving.
Yo,
Yes.
this is
Put me to
non-copyright
sleep.
music. I'm surprised.
What is this? All right, and then here's Rock. This is their version of Rock.
Yo, that sounds dope. Holy shit.
I know rock. I live in one.
And apparently you can loop this, and yeah, okay. Well, that was interesting. There you go.
Yeah,
StreamYard
William,
update.
you-
Yeah,
William,
but
you
we can't.
think-
But we can't get this the super chat thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
William, you think Apple should buy a studio?
What's that?
No, they don't, there's no need for them to. There's no need for it. That's why Apple hasn't bought anybody. That's why when everybody says Apple should buy Sony, there's nothing at any studio that could give.
Oh,
Apple
they
that.
will buy Sony. They will buy them in the future. I guarantee you.
Nah.
They will. They will. They will
There's
buy
nothing-
the movie studio. Not
There's
the PlayStation.
there's nothing that any studio has that Apple cannot get for itself.
What about Paramount?
Apple could literally
What about
buy a
Paramount?
solar system if they wanted to.
What about
Wait,
Paramount?
is that a Pepsi Max?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they go back to the Pepsi Max branding? Because
Probably over.
oh wow, because that Pepsi 0 calorie or whatever they were calling it, that did not have any ring to it at all.
Well, he's in Australia too, dude. So.
Oh well, that'll change things.
But as far as them buying, what would they buy Sony for, though? I mean,
the movies studio, and that's it, pretty much.
That's not worth it for them. There's no studio out there that there's
Okay,
nothing.
how about buying Paramount then?
Once again, when you acquire a company, you're adding a dimension that you cannot do yourself.
I mean, they almost got MMG, almost something like that.
Like I said, if it were a smaller company that didn't have certain things, like Warner and Discovery, they're merging and creating a better company. There's nothing Apple could acquire right now that would that they need. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you would just be spending money just to spend the money just to say you could do it. I mean, we all know that Apple is $1 trillion company. They could do it, but it would not add anything to their company. They would just be spending money.
I'm just saying. I mean, Amazon and Apple should buy Warner Brothers in the future.
They're not now. Warner Brothers, Amazon. I don't think. Once again, another company that doesn't. They have
Amazon just bought MGM.
Yeah,
So,
Apple was also in the bid for that too, but they lost.
Well, they pulled out. They didn't. It just wasn't a worthy expenditure for a company that pretty much has.
That's why I won't take care of my nephew Gobo. I knew to pull out. My brother didn't.
Oh my God!
Amazon did that, but Amazon also creates their own content too. I mean, I just don't see it happening, But in buying Sony, I mean, buying Warner Brothers is an expensive company. Look what Fox. Fox was not the most expensive company in the world. It was a $70 billion purchase, and it really.
I think Disney should have just bought Warner Brothers instead of Fox back in 2017.
Warner Brothers was talking about buying Fox several years.
You got to remember, dude. It's not like they can just
Fox
just
almost
decide
paid
like I'm going to go down to the
Disney,
corner
too.
store and
Like,
pick up a Warner
purchase
Brothers. You know what I mean? Like
it's not a cheap. Disney was like in the red because of that.
Disney, out of all the studios, is the most financially not feasible, and the reason why is because Disney does not make the bulk of its money from movies. Disney makes the bulk of its money from parks. Right?
Same goes for Sony, William.
What's up?
Same goes for Sony.
Yeah, but Sony also has other wings.
Gaming division.
A lot. The gaming division is huge for Sony. I mean,
yeah.
They're going to make like the same thing. They're going to make so much more. But with Disney, you look at the revenue that they're pulling. I think it's 9 to 12 billion on their parks, and then you look, at the best during the MCU movies, you're not going to make as much. It costs a lot to go to Disneyland.
True. But
Hey, I'm gonna get going.
Bye, Joe.
All right. Everyone have a great night. Remember, I said the new Fraggle Rock, they replaced Doc with a woman, so clearly it's woke. So,
well, is there gay stuff too?
I'm only one episode in. We'll see.
Do they have sex in it?
Okay.
What
the hell?
I think so.
What do you consider the trash heap?
They
trash heap.
They took a page out of the Titans book, and it's a more mature, edgy version of Fraggle Rock. So there will be, a lot of.
Well, Titans was ever not mature, by the way. I don't. If you read Titans,
you're
exactly.
See,
yes.
Joe tried to tell us all that wasn't true.
Oh, hell no. Titans is one of the sleazier books in the early 80s.
That was a book that was aimed at teenagers.
Dude, Deathstroke's banging a teenager. Deathstroke in bed with a teenager. His old ass.
Oh
is in
my!
bed with
No, please don't remind us of the terrorist situation.
It wasn't graphic though. It wasn't graphic.
It's still mature. It's still
we
mature.
didn't get Deathstroke ass in there, like
Okay, can we?
I mean,
we got Deathstroke in with an underage girl. We had Dick Grayson doing whatever the hell he was with the Woman of the Week. I mean, that comic was deep, man. That was never an immature comic, you know.
I
People
mean,
think
Dick,
that way
Dick
'cause
fucked Starfire.
yeah, and they're in the bed, and it was suggestive. I mean, it was
suggested, yes, suggested.
Yeah,
but
because
you
you
can
couldn't
suggest
tell
it
it
if
still
you
there.
were-
My thing is
What's
still
the
there.
difference? I mean, just bridge the gap already. I mean, we all know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I know with Deathstroke did. He'd go to jail for that, you know.
I don't want. Can we not think about that? Please?
All right, you know, Joe would go to jail for like what Uncle Traveling Matt was doing in his. I don't know.
that was legal. He's of
Well,
age.
if he consented, it's legal.
He's of
Okay, I
age.
don't know what the legal age of consent is for Fraggles. So,
Well, I mean, I'll let you in on a secret. Like,
Oh,
there's not a
please.
single Fraggle that doesn't work if you don't have your hand in their ass. So,
You have a great night, Joe.
we love you, Joe. Thank you, buddy. Thank you,
have
buddy.
a good night.
Peter Rabbit's Defender with a $4.99 super chat says, I think it's because of the Joker has become a worldwide hit. That's why WB willing to take a risk for 3 hours of Batman film. P.S. New Michael Giacchino's score rocks for the Batman.
Well, Joker being a hit had nothing to do with Warner Brothers. That was funny.
Yeah, the movie they didn't want to make.
Yeah. What happened was Marvel started the people who they suck up to, that current management, made 3-hour movies and people went to see them. So that broke that BS theory that if you made a 3-hour movie that people weren't going to see it. If you make a bad 3-hour movie, yeah, nobody's going to bad word of mouth. But if you make good movies, people are going to sit in there. People had no problem sitting for Endgame. You know, despite it being a dreck of a movie, the other people that were there loved it. 3 hours and 20 minutes. So that broke that spell. If they had that, why they had that in their head that these movies couldn't do well at that time level, that was their own doing. So they're learning. You know,
if you ask Todd Phillips, he would say himself, Warner Brothers, they wanted to scuttle that film every chance they could get.
Even in post-production. The post-production, they cost their studio half a billion, because remember the distribution rights, and that's why when everybody says, "Well, DC's in the right direction, look at Joker and Aquaman," nothing had to do with those guys. If it were up to those guys, those movies wouldn't even be made, because Jason Momoa being casted is what made Aquaman's a bulk of its money. And who casted Jason Momoa? Wow, I wonder who that was.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, their stuff is Shazam. Their stuff is Birds of Prey. Their stuff is, you know, whatever we got coming up. You know, that's them, $400 million though, which is fine. But you know, you can't have put all that pressure for people for 7 or 8 years, you know, about coming in under the $1 billion and, you know, all this, and then nothing you've released that they've had anything to actually do with has made $1 billion. Right? Joker was not them. Aquaman was pretty much Zach. Anything that they spawned from their own, you know, brains has made less than 500 million, which is good money, but that must not be the criteria anymore. And now we're going to streaming, so box office don't even matter. So if the Batgirl is any good, we're going to hear about it and they'll hype those numbers. If it's bad, it's just going to disappear and you'll never see those numbers. It's how streaming works. So you don't.
They're going to make a sequel, pretty much, you know.
Well, sometimes they decide they're going to make a sequel no matter what, like our spinoffs no matter what. They had already had Peacemaker already written before Suicide Squad was released. So sometimes they make those decisions just based on their, you know, what they think or ego. You know,
on that note, I should be going. I gotta actually watch Peacemaker and get ready for tomorrow's show or
no problem.
Today's show. And I'd like to thank every one of you, and thank you, Gary the Mormon. You have been gracious.
I'm not a Mormon.
Yeah, well, now you are. Now you are.
There's a difference, but I do love South Park. So
You know what? You're nice, you're campy, you get to be the Mormon now. Okay?
I get to be the
Scary.
well. You know what? Joseph Smith was called a prophet. Dum dum
Dum,
dum
dum,
dum
dum,
dum.
dum. All right, so I'll see you.
No offense to
all
my
right.
Mormon friends.
Mormons are gonna cancel you now.
Yeah, now they're gonna
I
come
know.
for you, man.
Hey,
Get
one of my good
bro.
friends is Mormon. One of my good friends is Mormon, and they laugh at
Wait, do they?
South
No, I'm
Park.
thinking of Amish.
Well,
But Brodan, it's great having you. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, man?
Just search the name right here. And if you want my, hold on, give me a minute. I hate doing this. I really do. I hate doing it.
What's your channel called again? It's just called Brodan, right?
It's called Brodan. Is it really called? Shit, I forget how I
Yeah,
named
Brodan
it.
Bro Guys.
It's called
I'm gonna
Brodan
put a
Bro
link-
Disguise.
I'm gonna put a link in there.
You can see the latest video is, I don't know why I filmed two squirrels fighting for no apparent reason, but there's that.
There you go. He is in the chat now, so you guys can go over there, subscribe to Brodan, and yeah, support people who are in the community. So there you go.
All right,
Take it easy, man.
Cool, man.
See you, man.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, Gary.
Cool. I've enjoyed that's things like we've kind of had the same people for like a long time, and so I've been trying to broaden our horizons and meet
Who
new
left?
people. That was Broden.
Oh,
yeah, Broden just left. But speaking of broadening our horizons, I'm going to play this right now because we have something new coming to the Poindexter Lounge.
What a world.
Something new is coming to Poindexter Lounge. New voices. New personalities. If you think you know, you don't know Jack.
There you go. New stuff is coming to the Poindexter Lounge, so make sure that you are here for what comes next. So
yeah.
Well, Sis says that you have to give us a hint, Inash.
No, I can't give you a hint. I can't give you a hint, Jesse. Can't give you a hint, Jesse. You just gotta be here for the announcement. You just gotta be here for the announcement. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm looking forward to this next year. I would just say it is about broadening our horizons, about bringing some other things in. And
Is it Ryan Reynolds?
Right? Is it Ryan Reynolds? Yes, Ryan Reynolds will be here to tell us why Deadpool had to be rated R.
Oh God.
So,
I mean, if Deadpool 3 is successful, which it will, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're not gonna make Blade R-rated because of Disney, but like, why not? Like, just put R-rated stuff on the Fox banner. Just do it for Marvel. I have no problem with that.
Well, the problem is an R-rated movie on a superhero IP or a comic book IP rarely does it work out because of the fact that you do have a lot of people who will not take their kids.
So you think that Blade will be like the Batman movie, like pushing the PG-13 limit?
Yeah, and there's a lot you can do with PG-13.
Also, like Morbius, like the teaser they released 3 months ago.
Yeah,
With,
I mean,
like,
there's certain things that'll get you an R rating. It's excessive blood, excessive violence, mass murder will get you, a visual mass murder, sex, full, gratuitous sex, sexual situations, depending on what the degree. But there's none of that an MCU movie needs. If you take all of the stuff that actually makes a movie rated R, that's stuff that you really have gotten by in Marvel without having anyway.
Well, they're going to market a Deadpool 3 as an MCU movie.
That'd be stupid. That would be stupid because they would not be able to go. They would limit themselves, and they're not if they market it, they're going to market it as a Fox movie.
Even Doctor Strange 2 is pushing the PG-13 limits.
Yeah, but they
Well,
won't. They won't break those
Deadpool
limits.
is rumors to be in Doctor Strange too.
Yeah, being in a cameo and having a movie based on you is two different things. When the movie revolves around you, then it's probably going to be a setting that Ryan Reynolds wants to already operate in. But if he's in someone else's movie, it's different. It's a cameo. But if it's a Deadpool movie, I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds is not going to want to cut back. And
So Blade being PG-13 makes like the $1 billion hit. You said.
I don't even think it makes it necessarily a $1 billion hit, but it doesn't limit your audience in the same fashion that a standard R-rated movie does. You know, especially if you're going to intermingle him with other characters, you have to keep
That's true.
consistent tone across the other characters that
Like
you're doing.
Ghost Rider, if you show up.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Or any character you put out, Wolverine. I mean, now when Wolverine was doing Logan and we were doing everything like that, that movie was disassociated from everything else. It was actually disassociated from the X-Men franchise.
Logan is the masterpiece. I don't care about nobody.
but you notice there's nothing connected to Logan.
Well,
nothing...
Logan was R-rated because Hugh Jackman wanted to be R-rated, and
yeah.
Well, no, it was R-rated because it was a violent movie.
He even took a pay cut.
Yeah, he took a pay cut too. Yeah, that's true.
But you would not introduce that Wolverine, that tone of story into what Disney.
No, it would be PG-13 pushing the PG-13 boundaries, and that's it.
Yeah,
you can make.
I think people. I don't think you should ever make an R-rated movie just to make it R. If the content dictates that it's R, then that's one thing. Then you can scale up or scale down. But you know, most of the time they should just make their movie, and then when they do the pre-screenings and everything else before the MPAA, then they can cut things out. If there's too much blood or if there's too much this or that, then they can cut it out. But after that,
like Marvel's doing the supernatural side of Marvel, which is good for them. Like, I mean, they're doing pretty good with that.
I mean, they're a PG-13 company. That's just basically what they are. Which is that's fine. But here's the thing: I'm a grown-ass man, so sometimes I want to see, things happen. When my fights happen, I want to see, blood. I want to see the guts. I want to see things that, that when I grew up in the 80s weren't that big a deal. I mean, we threw violence around, slash movies around like candy, and we didn't care. Nobody cared what kind of effect it had on us because we knew better.
We know you're not really about the violence. We know what you're really about.
Hey, yo.
I'm for unlimited storytelling. I don't like to see, for me.
Is that what we're calling it now? Unlimited storytelling?
Yeah, that's a
I agree with Toy Villain, Superman.
Hey, teacher, when are we actually going to use any of this?
You? Never.
Yeah, that teacher would be fired in real life.
I agree with Toy Villain.
It's still real to me, damn it!
That kid, if it was real life, the kid would complain to the principal and.
Come on!
Now, when I was a kid,
in real life,
the teachers would say all kinds of crap. They didn't care, and you went home and complained about your teacher to your mother and father, like, "Don't be a wuss, go back to school." But now it's like everybody's so sensitive. So, but R-rated stuff, DC, you're always going to see more R-rated stuff in DC. You're just going to. I mean, it's just the nature.
It depends on the movie with DC, though. If you think about it, in the character.
Yeah, even though there won't be a lot, but Joker, you can't. I mean, I don't think you could do a good Joker story like that.
I think you should do like a Lex Luthor type movie, just like the Joker.
Yeah, they had the chance to do so with the DC label.
What is it called? Black Label, I believe. Yeah, Black Label.
Yeah, Black Label.
Yeah, you could do it.
like I'm fine with it if there's a story there, but I don't know that there's like, I don't want to see them just like now all of a sudden just like, oh, well, we're just going to go through all the all the rogues gallery and we're just going to give them all their own movie that's not really connected to the.
But only the main villains, Inash.
Yeah, but even
Joker and.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, do we really just want to see them just for the sake of going? Because look,
Yes.
I mean, they use that Joker. They got people liking that Joker, but that Joker does not fit to tell that Joker story. They had to do something where like that Joker does not fit in that Batman world, in a Batman world.
It does.
I don't think it does. And honestly, I don't think that. I mean, first of all, the Joker's like what 30 years older than.
He's 40 in the movie.
He's 40 in the movie, so he's like 30 years older than
40
Bruce
or 50
Wayne.
around there.
Right? He's 30 years older than Bruce
Wayne in the movie was like 14, 12, 14, 13, something like that.
No, I thought he was like 10.
No,
9 or
10
10 years old.
Wow.
Like he literally goes up to the kid and like puts his fingers in
yeah.
his mouth. That's more like a 10-year-old kid. That ain't a 14-year-old.
Okay, so 12,
you know.
okay.
So I mean, so he's like 30 years older than, you know, than Batman. Plus honestly, I don't even when I look at I like the Joker movie. Don't get me wrong. I like the Joker movie a lot.
That's a 9 out of 10 for me.
But with that Joker movie, I don't believe that Joker movie. I believe that it's that it is what is that called when
you think it's a crazy person being the Joker?
Yeah, what's that term that they use in movies where your narrator is not why is my brain
not autobiographical? No, it's not.
Point of view?
No, yeah, you know, you're it's an unreliable narrator.
Unreliable.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because every time something good happens to Arthur Fleck in that movie, it's fake.
Yeah.
It's not happening in real life. The girl, his family, his mom, you know, all this stuff. So why in the world would I think at the end of the movie they would change that up when literally everything good that happens to him throughout the entire film, anything positive that happens to him in the film, ends up being unreliable? Why would I think at the end that like everybody's really hoisting him up and you know, championing Arthur Fleck as this thing? Because that's what he's always wanted. He's always wanted to be desired. He's always wanted to be supported and stuff. And then in the next scene, we see that he's still in the hospital, right? So like I just don't believe that like they went through the whole movie, showed us all this positive stuff, and every positive thing is unreal to just get to the end. And it's like, oh, but look, you know, he caused this big uproar. Did he? What I think is he's in Gotham. He's in Gotham. There's things that are happening in Gotham, and it's him. It's a crazy person imagining these things in my
opinion, don't make Joker 2. Give Todd Phillip Mr. Freeze movie.
Nah, I think they should make a Joker too. See, and people,
Yeah.
I'm not a
incredible, yeah.
If there's story to tell,
Well, then you gotta give Joaquin Phoenix a lot of money.
I just don't feel like there's another Joker film to be told there because what are you going to make him part of Batman? They're not going to give him his own Batman. I mean, they're
all
not going to.
Had in that
you know?
original Joker was the beginnings of the character.
Exactly. But what are you going to do with that? Like, if that Joker's real, who's that Joker going to fight? Like, what's that Joker going to be? Like,
society.
It's a Texas
society. Okay, but you know what?
Police.
Though that's great and all. But the reality is that I don't think. Honestly, we know that if they do it, they're only doing it for one reason and one reason alone. Because both the director and Joaquin Phoenix said right out the gate, we don't want to do sequels. We are not trying to make a franchise. Joaquin Phoenix literally turned down being Doctor Strange because he didn't want to do franchises. So if they do this, it's literally just for the money.
He also turned down Lex Luthor, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I just don't want to see that. I don't have a reason for it. I just don't have a desire for it. You know,
I think Joker's One is a singular movie.
Nah, I don't believe in singular movies if there's story to tell. And I think there's story to tell there. I think there's plenty of story to tell there.
Here's a genuine question. Obviously, there's the campaign for the haircut, right? Now, do you think realistically, say it doesn't come out during this next, year, right? For some reason, the studio holds it back, right? But after the Batman's been released and, they've got that kind of out into the world, obviously you got the campaign for it to be released is there. Do you think there's a scenario where the haircut is released and they allow the world to see Joker's intended storyline with Harley in that film and leave it open to where they could finish off that arc for Jared Leto's story or let it go forward maybe down the track if Ben Affleck does get the chance to do his film, or if Zach gets to, do his vision as well with the continuation of his story.
What regime are we talking about? Are we talking about the current regime or
No, the new regime.
The new one? I would say no, not, and only because there would be no reason for it yet. The only way I see them greenlighting it is if they are going to continue with the original story arc that Zack Snyder set out, because that accents it, that makes that character relevant. If absent that decision for me would come first. So the decision to continue and resolve the Snyder arc would have to come first for me for that movie to make any sense, because you're making one of their characters more relevant now.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, yeah.
When he gets the green, when he gets the green light in April to take over, do you see them saying, "Okay, let's get with Zach, let's put the plans in place," even if they say we have to wait, he's got to tie up his loose ends with his Rebel Moon project and that, but then they say let's start pre-production on these different projects to get the ground running.
Yeah, I think they've already had those conversations, to be honest with you. Not legally, but I think those conversations about it. I think everybody who ran from Warner Brothers, or that ran from this regime, has been talking to David Zaslav for about 8 months now. And it's not going to be a miracle when the ink is dry. All of a sudden, hey, Christopher Nolan's going to talk to so and so. I'm like, well, wow, because a couple months ago he was literally spitting on Warner Brothers.
It's just that if you see just in that chemistry alone with Ben and Jared, and they weren't even in the same location, together when that was done, but you see it how Zach masterfully put them together. And it's so real. You can feel it. It's palpable. That is more. Yeah, they've got to build on that and say that, because Jared would jump at that, and Ben, he'll do anything for Zach.
I can't believe you have these Academy Award winning level people that want to work on these projects, and these guys have found a way to make it not happen. That is so frustrating. But hey, better times are coming, because Jared, I want to see the Nightmare. If I don't get to see anything else, I want to see the Nightmare, the portion of the Justice League arc, because that to me, where we were left in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I was happy to have finally seen it after all these years, but I was kind of like, oh damn it, I want to see it. Give me 10 more minutes. Even
to just see him flesh out the story of how he killed Dick, and then for Bruce to get his chance to finally make Joker pay for it.
Yeah, and I want to see all the realities too, because remember it's called "How many realities have you destroyed because you don't have the balls?" And that's what that whole second. Oh man, see, and Margot
Robbie will come back.
What's up?
Margot Robbie will come back.
Everyone will come back for Zach.
She has to. Yeah, I don't think there's
no Margot Robbie's dead.
Don't play around, dude.
She's dead.
Is that if that's not true?
Yeah, really?
Well, Aaron is a pretty credible person in the lounge. It's not like this. This isn't like Aaron's not like a like a troll person. we know that about Aaron. So let me just look up here.
Well, even Batman talked about it.
Harley's dead in the Nightmare timeline.
It's true. Holy mackerel!
It depends on which timeline.
Singer Meatloaf passed out during a concert performance in Pittsburgh. But after receiving onstage treatments from medics, he got up and finished the show. Hold on. Wait, is that?
He's done that 100 times.
That's not here. Okay, hold on. Dies. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Here it is.
Oh, man.
A statement was posted today, January 21st, on his official Facebook page. Reads, "Our hearts are broken to announce that the incomparable Meatloaf passed away tonight, with his wife Deborah by his side. Daughters Pearl and Amanda and close friends have been with him throughout the last 24 hours.
Wow.
Oh man.
So this wasn't a sudden thing. He was
No, it says it went on to add his amazing career spanned 6 decades that saw him sell over 100 million albums worldwide and star in over 65 movies, including Fight Club, Focus, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and Wayne's World. Bat Out of Hell remains one of the top 10 selling albums of all time. We know how much he meant to so many of you, and we truly appreciate all of the love and support as we move through this time of grief and losing
At
such
what
an
age?
inspiring
74.
artist. 74. And beautiful man. We thank you for your understanding for our need of privacy at this time. From his heart to your souls, don't ever stop rocking.
Oh man,
Man,
So
74 years old.
That tells me he was. I knew he wasn't in the best of health, but a lot. I mean, hell, a lot of people are. But I didn't. Wow. Oh, that's.
Yeah, man, that's too bad.
That's not like a Betty White thing where you got 100 years and Sidney Poitier where you got 9. This 74. It's not a spring chicken, but damn.
Yeah, but still,
it's not the dying age. Wow, that sucks, man.
And and he brought a lot to the table. I know a lot of people. There's probably people who don't. Who didn't follow Meatloaf or whatever, or maybe they're not a big fan or whatever, but he had a huge impact on music. He had a huge impact in movies. Man, it's too bad.
Yeah, I'm starting to get the text and stuff in right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and I can already see what the headlines tomorrow here in Melbourne are going to be in the Herald Sun, because Meatloaf famously or infamously performed at the Australia Grand Final here, and his performance was widely panned, but it wasn't totally his fault. The sound system for the MCG here wasn't up to par, and apparently he was a bit out of whack as well. And but I remember how much they dunked on him and kept dunking on him for years to come. So I can just see that is going to happen.
Wow.
Bloody shocking.
Yeah. Whoop. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Rest in peace.
But see, a lot of these guys, a lot of these famous people are going through things, and you just don't know. You just don't know what people are going through health wise.
No, it's true. It's true.
You just think, because when I hear about that he was surrounded by his family, that tells me that it was declining health, and he just didn't put it out there. Same thing with Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman has been ill for a very long time. He was able to keep that under wraps, and that was a shock when I heard about him. But then I find out he's been fighting for years now. It's like they just, and I think Meatloaf was just.
I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige knew.
He says he didn't.
Yeah, they say that nobody knew, because he lost weight, but he didn't let it on.
I remember that one interview during Endgame, he was sleeping.
And
he was sleeping, and then I forgot Paul Bettany. He's like, "You okay?" And stuff.
Because he was exhausted, you could see.
Yeah, because it takes a lot. That chemo takes it out of the. I've had relatives that go through that chemo, and it's a war.
Oh yeah, man. Everybody I know who's gone.
That's why everybody I know that recovers or goes into remission or that lives. And goes through all that those people are superhuman in my opinion.
And he was too, William, because he was even still at that point, even though he was going through treatment, he was visiting cancer wards for kids and still granting wishes and acting. He did old Ma Rainey's Black Bottom film. He was doing other stuff. He did like a cop movie as well, and so he really was, doing a lot even with treatment.
Yeah,
man, and it's sad. Like looking at it now, like when you said the Chadwick was like falling asleep. Like he looks tired in this. Like he looks absolutely drained in this interview.
Yep.
It's
And
crazy.
we just didn't know what he was going through, and it was like,
know.
it's like, damn,
You just never know what people are going through, man. That's why it's important that you treat people well while you have them.
Always be next to your
take
coworker.
advantage of the opportunities that you have to tell somebody that you love them, that you care about them, and don't take any of that for granted.
Life is just too short to just hate.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. Man. Okay. Well, here's a question for you guys. Are you guys into? Were you guys into at all? Last night was it last night or the night before we were talking about shark movies? We were talking about like
the night before.
I think it was the night prior.
Yeah, it was the night before. So they're getting ready to start shooting Meg 2.
Didn't you talk to the book?
Still haven't seen Meg 1 though.
I did. That's what I was gonna tell you about. Yeah, so they're getting ready to shoot this. This is filming on the Ben Wheatley directed Meg 2. The Trench will begin next week in the UK at Warner Brothers Studios in Leavesden. Jason Statham returns as paleobiologist Jonas Taylor, in the follow-up to the 2018 hit The Meg, about a giant prehistoric shark. Original writers Dean Georgaris, John Hober, and Eric Hober are also on board. So that's something that's
that's some good CGI.
Instead of 2, we'll have 3, and this time he'll be sword fighting the megalodon without a sub at the end.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, I knew that this was coming. We were just kind of waiting for it. But if you haven't already, make sure that you take a minute at some point and watch our video where I actually interviewed Mr. Steve Alton, who wrote the original book.
Isn't he involved in the production?
Yeah, he's involved with the production. This is
Didn't he get a producer credit? Did he get a producer credit for that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was part. He was, and he's very much involved. You can see here behind him. There's something here called The Loch. That's another movie that he's working on. That's about the Loch Ness monster. So I'm kind of excited about that one too.
You reckon he'd come back and talk to you about that one too, Enoch?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He already mentioned that when it comes out, that we'll talk some more for sure about that. So, but
awesome.
So I'm excited about that. Were you guys like down with the first one? Did you guys like the first one?
I love.
I haven't seen it, Enoch.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen the first Meg?
You should. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I still got T-shirts from that movie and beach towels.
Really?
Yeah, we promoted the movie and we got a ton of stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And we did a hologram under you, so we did a green screen. So you got into this little tube thing, those little things that float in the water, and you sat into it, and we took your picture, and then we would have the Meg come up from under you and open its mouth, and then and when you got your passes, we gave that to you. Then we tagged you in it, and we tagged Warner Brothers in it so that they knew we were doing it. The Meg was a fun movie. It's not Scorsese, but I didn't go for that. I went to have fun, mindless fun. The Meg is mindless fun that I loved. So I'm looking forward to the sequel there.
Yeah. To answer this question, Anthony Strader, he says, hey Nash, I know that you say that you stopped watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I got to ask 2 questions. Why did you stop? Well, the first reason I stopped was because of the storyline sucked. It was when they were doing the
Inhumans.
Which one? Season 1 or 2?
Inhumans. I got halfway through that Inhumans storyline, and I was just like, nope, can't do it anymore. This is dumb. I hated it. I could not stand it. It was just the most god awful, boring thing to me ever, and I couldn't do it anymore. My favorite characters before I stopped watching, Coulson, obviously I loved. I also loved
Daisy was good.
Yeah, Daisy was good. I loved what's her name, who's now on Book of Boba Fett.
May.
Yeah. I loved her on the show.
What about Ghost Rider?
Ghost
Yeah,
Rider.
see, I didn't watch Ghost Rider on the show. I got out right before Ghost Rider because I just,
I
got
left
out right
when
before that.
I left when Sif was introduced. I didn't like it. When Sif made her appearance, that's when I stopped.
Is that show even canon to the MCU anymore? Like, I know.
No, it's not canon.
No, it's not.
Really?
I think the first 2 seasons was, and then the third, fourth, and the last one is not.
Yeah.
I don't know that they've ever actually gotten into whether or not that any of it is anymore.
Agent Carter is the only one that's canon to the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. And Daredevil, and that's it.
Well, if we count Daredevil, we got to count the others.
No.
Yes.
Well, I saw that Daredevil deleted scene.
Well, they're bringing back the Defenders.
Are they? Huh.
Yeah, they just there was an announcement or something the other day that they were bringing back Defenders. So
in comic books,
I don't know, man. I look, if they're bringing back Daredevil, and they brought back Kingpin and all that stuff in that universe, dude, they're all coming back.
No. Finn Jones is getting recast. I'm sorry, he's out of that. No, he's out. Sorry, he's out.
Why do people hate him? I don't understand. I get the character.
Bro, you know Kevin Feige. He's gonna recast him. He's gonna recast him.
There was nothing wrong with Finn Jones's Iron Fist. I mean,
he's doodoo.
Bro, his best appearance was in not Iron Fist, but in Luke Cage. When he came back, that's probably the best aspect of.
Well, Luke Cage writers are smart. That's why.
I mean, but it's not the actor's fault that the writing is bad.
No, it's what is the name? Starbucks? Bucks? What are we pronouncing that guy's name? Like
Starbucks?
he just the showrunner for the show. He just did a terrible job with Iron Fist.
I mean, but why put down a actor that I think he did really well with what he was given in the role he had, and completely recast him as a whole. It's like
I think the only character that Marvel's gonna keep is Luke Cage actor, Jessica Jones actor, and what else? And that's it. I don't think he would probably recast Iron Fist. Other than that,
what about Punisher? I gotta keep. Oh.
Oops, got quiet.
I don't know. I can't see like. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of them recasting Iron Fist, even if the show was bad.
Well, it's Kevin Feige. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
why would Kevin Feige want to recast?
Yeah, why would he?
If Kevin Feige bring him back, I will literally be shocked that he come back.
I'm shocked you got Daredevil, to be honest with you.
No, I'm not shocked because Kevin Feige said he loves that show.
But prior to that, he hadn't done it. And how long has he been ahead of that studio?
For 3 years.
No, he's been head of that studio for almost
a decade, right?
13 years now.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't basically. He generally doesn't bring in things that he did not produce or create. He just doesn't. So when you see Daredevil and these other things, that's like I said, that's why when the Netflix show ended, there was generally no hope that you'd ever see these characters again.
No, Marvel was waiting for the rights.
Huh?
I'm gonna say Marvel Studios was waiting for the rights for Daredevil.
Even with the rights, he would have generally, the old Feige way would have just been to recast him, because if he didn't bring you on, and you're not part of what he built up, prior to that, he just didn't use you.
I do think the Punisher actors will come back. John Berto, I think he will come back.
I really want to see Robbie Reyes too come back.
I don't know about that. I mean, they're doing Ghost Rider, maybe.
Like he killed it. He really killed it.
What do you
Yeah,
make
but
of
they're gonna use Johnny Blaze for the Ghost Rider in the MCU.
Yeah. Why not having them both?
Oh, jeez. How many characters are we gonna fit in this damn MCU?
I agree. Like
every time
all of them, dude. All of them. By
Here's
the time
problem.
it's done,
Not-
I mean they have the rights to everybody now. So
Okay,
I mean, so why not?
being able to do something, having the rights to do something, doesn't necessarily mean you should do something.
No, but you know what? They're going to have to at some point, dude, because they're going to run out of. I mean, they're going to always have to introduce.
Are they?
Like,
Are they
why?
gonna
Why
run out?
wouldn't? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they introduce all their characters, man, and fill up that universe?
I
Why
mean,
wouldn't they?
we're talking about characters that didn't appeal even in their own atmospheres, and just let's
William, we're not talking
But
about
dude,
DC.
he is Feige. I guess we're done talking about Meg. I'm looking forward to seeing Meg.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you guys are too.
I am too. I'm looking
Oh,
forward to
by
seeing
the
it.
way, I was looking up Meg, guys, and it actually made $500 million in the box office.
Look at its
which is
budget,
huge.
though. Look at the budget. That's
Yeah.
what.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was a
That budget for Meg
$130 million.
That's for that movie. That's
Yeah,
nothing.
that's huge.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
That's cheap
Yeah.
actually, because it's mostly just so much CGI. They got to wait cheap with CGI in that movie.
And it looks good. It looks
Yeah.
good. As for that though, I mean, like look at all the stuff that Feige's done, man. Feige has introduced all kinds of characters that nobody really necessarily, cared about, in that kind of respect, but he's introduced them and
But it's just funny. I like here, like I mean, any character you bring up, Marvel wise, oh, I can't wait to see him in NC. And I'm like, and I remember myself sitting in the end of Endgame, and I'm like, it's so cluttered right now.
maybe, but I think the thing is the reason why people are getting so excited is because for the first time they actually feel like this stuff could happen, right? Like before, I don't think that the people actually ever imagined that some of this stuff would happen, and now they're like, you know what? There's actual opportunities here, and the fact that Feige has won people over where people trust him, that he's going to do well by whatever characters he brings in.
Oh, I don't doubt that he would, but do all of this, every single Marvel character that comes up in a conversation need to be in their movie.
William, but they're just gonna build them up. They're not gonna use them straight up.
And like, what I think they should do is just leave the X-Men out of the MCU. That's just you're bringing in so much, like a whole.
It ain't
new
happening.
world.
I'm sorry, bro.
They're their own world, but
Yeah, literally, it's their own world.
This is not WB we talking about.
Yeah, Disney have already got that well into the planning.
Yeah, but how are you gonna set the mutants up?
Oh, I think they've already done that.
Yeah, it's already.
They were in the background the entire time. That's just
it's a weird excuse.
Yeah, the path forward from Doctor Strange, and with what Wanda's done, and the variants and all that, that's what's gonna hit the ground
If
running.
we're going to see the X-Men and Doctor Strange 2,
yes,
then I mean the Fox X-Men. Like, why not? That guy left. Whoever was that?
like all of this can be like really just overwhelming. Like it's just too much.
That's what I'm saying.
Really.
I agree. Like to the point where like now we're getting Ironheart, someone who wasn't really introduced until like what 2017 when All New All Different came out. Like
2016, 17 on there.
Yeah, it's like it's a huge jump, and it's getting a bit cluttered for me at least.
Yeah, and like it's just a bit too like you had Endgame, that was like something new, not new, like you had all the characters to get, and now you're getting like Secret Wars, Doctor Strange 2.
Like I said, this is not
just feels a bit too not special anymore.
Yeah, but like they're not Walter. It's not like DC with Walter Amano who got no plan.
Yeah, we're fucking idiots.
So like, no.
Have a good one, Lane. He says he's gonna go. He's gonna jump off.
Yeah, guys.
All right, man.
I'm gonna jump off. See you all. Take care.
We'll see you later in Delhi.
Yeah.
Integrity is right. Integrity is right about it.
What do you say?
Connected universe. Yeah.
The worst part about a connected universe is that all the films take place in the same world. The films lack a unique identity. Back in the day, Superman 78, Batman 89, etc. were different worlds.
Exactly. Like all these recent MCU films feel the same. They've got the same sort of like color palette. Like, yeah, with other films, they feel like with DC, they at least have their own like style, their own tone. You know what I mean, right? So like,
Mhm.
yeah, it feels different.
Well,
like
you kind of saw that
completely
with
identify that world they're in. Whereas
Yeah,
for the MCU, it's just it's just the MCU.
Yeah, but see, with the X-Men coming in, they can't let that fail. The way that they introduce them, the new iteration, especially if they do bring in any of the former, Fox characters, Disney are not gonna drop the ball with this. They'll have all these plans in place. For them, the casting, their approach, all of it going forward must hit. It must work because they're banking on it.
Well, that and they're running into their own DC problem, which DC has always had, which is the fact that you are now taking a franchise that already has cemented actors and cemented people who have made those roles legendary, and now you're taking that on. This is the first time Marvel will ever have to deal with DC had to deal with right out of the chute.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right.
Ruby Trash is coming to Meg too. No,
she was good in that movie.
I did like her in that movie. I did like her in the film.
Hey,
she
did
was
slam
good in
the
Meg.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, she was good in she was good in that film in Meg.
She destroyed WB like 3 months ago.
She did. Paul Smith here says you spent so much time figuring out how you could, you didn't consider whether you should.
Exactly. I love that quote. That's
wrong.
That's
And
great.
and think about it, like now, even like when you're looking at Phase 4, we're introducing like so many characters right now. Because we have Shang-Chi, all the Eternals, whoever they're bringing in for Doctor Strange. We already have
Doctor Strange. I hate hearing all these goddamn rumors about like the cameos and shit. like Mr. Fantastic. Like just everyone's just overhyping it.
Let me see. Let me do some math real quick.
Math.
Sort of.
But yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see how they handle what might be a little bit of backlash. I mean, the next Wolverine is going to be in the shadow of Hugh Jackman, like every Superman has been in the shadow of Christopher Reeve, and every Batman has been in the shadow of Michael Keaton and Christian Bale.
Every Iron Man will be in the shadow of Robert Downey. That's
exactly. They have not had to deal with that yet.
They're not going to recast Iron Man.
If they ever want to use him again, they will.
Not really.
Or ever in a reboot in like a few decades.
No problem.
It's about 10, 15 years from now, maybe.
They're not going to reboot the MCU. I'll guarantee you that.
They won't reboot the whole thing, but if they want to do Iron Man again, they're not going to use a 70-year-old Robert Downey Jr.
We're talking about Disney here. They're not going to reboot that. You know that.
Why would they?
I mean, they're going to make
they
money
don't.
off of it.
Reboot is not the word you use. You basically recast the character.
Yeah.
You recast the character to tell us a different story. They do it all the time. And if there's money to be made, they'll do it. And if it's done right, it'll work.
Spider-Man 2, terrible movie. Yeah.
Spider-Man 2?
What?
No,
you said
no,
Spider-Man 2 is bad. What?
No,
Get
but
out.
I like to joke. I don't like. Listen, I like to joke around when people want to say Spider-Man 2 is terrible.
I'm about to say that's one of the great comic book movies ever made, man.
You gonna get
It's
fought,
a good
dog.
movie. It's a good movie.
I mean,
it's just I don't like Tobey Maguire stands and Tobey Maguire fans.
Oh, look out, Anthony! Andrew Casali's going to appear out of nowhere.
I don't care. He could F himself 2 times.
Oh, so man, what is a family show, man? Come on. Oh, I think.
Like Toby stands are the worst.
Yeah, that can be pretty. I mean, all fandoms.
If you go on Twitter and say, "Oh, Andrew Garfield's a good Spider-Man," they attack you in 2 seconds.
And I like
that comes with every fandom. To be honest,
No, silly with
James Bond, anything that has multiple interpretations of the
James
same
Bond
character.
has
You're always
fans?
gonna,
I didn't know that.
oh yeah, dude, billions worth of them. But anytime you have multiple interpretations of the same character, you're always going to have different generations that see it different ways. Yeah.
I don't know. I just I think I said it I think I said it 2 days ago. I still don't know how I feel about like them introducing Ironheart and then doing Armor Wars. Like, it's
Armor Wars. Well, I think what's his name? Oh, damn, I forgot the character name.
War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine was gonna get a movie back in Phase 2, but they couldn't because they stopped that. So I get why they're doing Armor Wars, so they could just like set up the character and stuff like that. Because we haven't
I'm
seen his
glad War
backstory.
Machine's gonna get some.
Yeah, I'm
spotlight.
glad. I'm glad. It finally. I've been asking like, what are we gonna get either a War Machine show or a War Machine movie? I'd love to see it. You know.
I don't know, man. Every time they put out a War Machine comic, I end up having to discount it because it gets canceled. So.
Why you sell it for $2?
Huh?
Why you sell
Sometimes I
it?
just give them away. Sometimes I give them away.
I guess it's more so just because of the fact that he's not Tony Stark. And like
he's a derivative character, and derivative characters
Yeah.
won't sell better than the main characters.
Yeah.
But you still got to spend money to make these things. So.
I hope Punisher show up in that show.
Which show?
John Bernthal
Punisher? In the War Machine show.
Armor Wars?
I mean, it's Marvel. They could make any appearance in any character.
Yeah, but that's when you start getting to the point where you're just doing
gets
stuff.
weird. Yeah, it's just doing it to do it.
It has to make sense. You know what I mean?
It's like,
listen, Terrence Howard, War Machine, he was good, but he's trash. He asks way too much money, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
Who's this?
Terrence Howard.
the original War Machine, or the original Rhodey.
He asks way too much money, bro.
Yeah, but you look at what he gets paid per episode on the series that he's in. He kind of justified it. I mean, it's more money than Marvel was going to pay him, but that doesn't mean that he should not have asked for that type of money.
But Disney was Disney's like
no, that was Paramount.
Yeah,
and
then he went somewhere else and got it. You know, I mean,
why didn't Paramount bought the MCU? I mean, why didn't Paramount bought Marvel? Should have bought them.
No, they couldn't afford it.
Well, that's true.
I don't think
you can't just look at it. Most companies cannot afford to acquire another company. That's why what you're seeing now is rare. And when they do, like Disney's still hurting from the $74 billion is a lot of money for Fox.
Oh, 20, yeah. They should have paid 50.
A lot of money.
They should have paid 50.
What Warner Brothers is doing, that's $46 billion. That's a lot of cash, for Discovery to merge with them like that. You don't see this often. You definitely don't see it multiple times in 1 year. So,
you think they'll bring back Hammer for Armor Wars? Actually, that'd be interesting.
Hammer?
Yeah, Justin Hammer. Do you think they'll bring him back?
Yeah, possibly. I wouldn't mind seeing that. He did come back for like that little short in Iron Man 3, like All Hail the Mandarin, wherever that was.
I mean,
I didn't actually watch the entire thing. I just know he was in it. Actually, I barely remember it.
Everyone knows that.
The real Mandarins out there.
Yes, Terrence Howard is actually the better actor, in my opinion.
I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Hands down for me. And like I said, Terrence Howard,
he could screw himself.
He did.
He got his money though. He just didn't get it from them.
Yeah.
You should have told Paramount. You should have known.
Well, no, I mean, listen. If you think you're worth something and the company you're working for doesn't give it to you, and you look elsewhere, that happens every day in all walks of life. I mean, there's I can't tell a guy that he should take less than what he thinks his value is if he can go somewhere and get good money.
No, I would be like, you take less, or you getting recasted.
But why does he have to? He can go over to the Fox. He could go over to Power, and be a star, and people love that show. He gets good money from that show. He still gets good acting gigs, and he doesn't have to be part of a franchise if he doesn't.
I mean, I think at the time, didn't he? I'm not sure, but I thought he got an award for something. At least a year before, or like he just made a lot of money off of a movie. prior to that.
Dude, he's been in. Terrence Howard
Yeah,
is one of the most prolific actors out there.
He's okay. He's average now. He's average.
No, he's still good. He's better than Don Cheadle.
How?
You know, and I like Don Cheadle, but as far as quality of acting, I mean, you look at the list of things that this guy's been in. I mean, it just. I mean, I'm looking at his list of movies that he's been in right now, and just the quality of the movies. You know, and television. Empire was the show he was on. He won an Emmy for Best Actor. I mean, so we're talking about an Emmy award-winning, Academy Award nominated actor. Yeah, you're gonna pay for that guy if you want him to be, you know, in your movies. So,
I think over time, I think I prefer Don Cheadle more, but I think Terrence is a better actor.
It's mostly just because we've been used to Don Cheadle.
I mean, but like it's not by much. He's still like a side character in these movies. It's very rare that like he'll have like at least a majority part. I didn't really notice him until like Endgame and then, like some parts of Age of Ultron.
I'll be honest with you, I like Terrence Howard's character better too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like just imagine, like I know everyone here is used to Don Cheadle and Mark Ruffalo, but just imagine if going all the way to the beginning, if we had stuck with Terrence Howard and Edward Norton, dude, like that would have been freaking sweet to see those guys interact with everybody in the Avengers movies.
Everybody would have been okay with it.
Well, that's, you gotta ask Paramount. I mean, Paramount was the one. They're the ones that recast.
Bro, Terrence Howard would have knocked it out. He honestly, I agree with Unash. He would have been a better fit for Rhodey in general. Because to me, I love Don Cheadle. I think he's a fantastic actor. But Terrence Howard has much more personality. He has a lot more screen presence. He would have been able to elevate Rhodey to much more than just, Iron Man's sidekick. So
and
it's just
a lot more personable too.
Yeah.
Because like you see in some of his roles, Terrence Howard jumps off the screen.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree.
And in the role of a lieutenant colonel, an Air Force colonel, Terrence Howard played the role of an 05 better than Don Cheadle does.
Yeah,
that's that simple, And,
well, to be fair, Don Cheadle doesn't have a lot of screen time in the MCU, though. He's just there to be there. That's it.
Yeah. And to me, I always thought Terrence Howard was going to leave that franchise anyway, because Terrence Howard he's not a bit player. He's the guy. He's for the most part. He's the guy. Watch Empire, and you'll see that's Terrence Howard. That's the full scope of his.
I mean, hey, you got to blame Paramount. They're the one who's like, recast.
Well, it didn't work out. I mean, sometimes business deals don't work out. I mean, if you're at the height of your career and you want a certain amount, and the company they can't give it to you, they're under budget or they're over budget, they can't give you that money or justify it. That's cool. A lot of these people part amicably. It's not a fight. You say, hey, here's my offer, here's my counter offer. Didn't work out. I'm going this place to get the money. I mean, that happens every day in business life and contracts and sporting. I mean, everywhere. That's why there's free agents and trades and things like that.
Just like Edward Norton, if he would have kept his mouth shut, he would have been the MCU. But
well, I mean, also, bro, like Edward Norton is like Edward Norton is one of the most notoriously difficult actors to work with. Like he was like that on like all the other movies he's done. It's not just Avengers that he was like that on. He's everyone who's worked with him knows he's like that. So he would have been difficult to work with anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, he would have been awesome to see, but
yeah, he would have. I agree. He would have been better than Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
And plus, hey, keep in mind, not every actor wants to be part of the MCU.
No.
Some guys will take a role in it and they'll play their part in it, but they long for other types of movies. They want to be.
I mean, they would just take a paycheck. They're not the wrong getting a paycheck.
And some people, it is about the most money. Some people, it's about, you know what? I don't want to be part of a comic book franchise, and there's nothing wrong with that, or they don't want to be, part of this particular one or anything like that, or there's different roles. I mean,
see, that's what I don't understand though, is when people take like comic book roles, and then they're like, well, I don't want to be a part of a comic book, franchise, or I don't want to, it's like
Christian Bale.
Then don't do it.
Well, no, they enjoy the work that they're doing, but as far as like long-term commitment, like there's a difference between an appearance in a comic book
Yeah,
movie.
but you know what? We're living in a world right now where it's like, okay, you know what? If you want to play Batman, you're not going to play Batman in just one movie. Don't sit there and act like you're just gonna, like I'm above the role and I'm just gonna.
Who
sign
says
up.
that though? Only Christian Bale, but Christian Bale's on a level much higher than just an average Joe.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. I don't care who Christian Bale is. Christian Bale, if you want to be Batman, be Batman. You don't. I understand that. I'm saying in general. I'm saying in general. I'm saying in general. People who want to be in comic book movies need to stop talking down about comic book movies. You know what I mean? Like they're beneath them or something. If it's so beneath you, then you know what?
Well, did he ever say that though? I mean,
I'm not saying Christian Bale. I'm not saying Christian Bale. I'm talking about, you hear some of these people sometimes act like they, they don't want to be bogged down. They don't want to be bogged down with some of these roles and stuff. And then some of them end up taking them, and then they get in these contract disputes and whatnot. I'm just saying, I look at something like what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix played the Joker, for example. Like, he turned down being Doctor Strange because he said he didn't want to be in a franchise, right? Then all of a sudden it was like, well, I'm going to go be the Joker. Okay, because he said he was going to get a one-off. That's fine. I mean, that definitely plays into why I do not want to see him do anymore. One, that I just don't think that there's another story to be told there with this particular version of the Joker, without going forward with other characters who aren't going to show up. But beyond that, like, it just, I got no,
I mean, shouldn't it like already be told like, hey, we're looking to do this like as a we're doing this franchise, we're doing this, like, we're trying to get sequels out of it,
people should know that by now with the way comic book movies are.
I don't know, it's like, it's just a matter of like, I guess it's just as an actor, you don't want to be stuck in a role. I mean, it's like, look at like CW actors, just they leave over time because it gets it's time consuming and people get tired of their roles.
Well, see, I mean, and that's actually I think that's the latest rumor as to why John Krasinski and his wife Emily Blunt. There's a new rumor. I don't know if you guys have heard that they're gonna be in the new Doctor Strange movie.
But Emily Blunt doesn't even want to do it.
Well, no, hang on. All right, but no, that's the thing though. The point is that they're gonna appear in the next Doctor Strange movie because for them that's a one-off. They're not actually playing. They're not right. They're not actually playing the main MCU timeline Fantastic Four. They're playing, what do you call variants. So basically, they only have to appear once, and then that's it. But like in many interviews, especially Emily Blunt, she talks mad shit about comic book movies. Like, she takes a huge giant dump on comic book movies, even though like fans want her to, play Sue Storm, right? Like, I mean, there's no point at this point. I don't see her getting that role. So,
hey, anything is possible. Kevin Feige's a guy for a reason.
I mean, I would like.
I wouldn't say that. But
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like I said, these guys. It's a matter of preference and what kind of roles that they choose and the kind of movies that they make. I mean, some people, like I said, Robert Downey Jr. comic book movies saved his career because his career was not going anywhere when he first got picked for Iron Man.
He got out of jail.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. People think of Chris Hemsworth now as Thor, but Chris Hemsworth's back when they first started making Thor wasn't the prolific, box office type actor.
He was just that guy known as that guy who appeared in a Star Trek flashback.
Exactly. He was James T. Kirk's father. Right? So I mean, and now that's a problem with trying to get him back because he wants MCU type money for to go to be Kirk again. I'm like, they're not giving you that. But it's just
they will give him money. They will.
No, I don't know, man. They're not going to give him what he initially asked, but they might. I think they're going to cut him out of the movie. I don't think his part in the movie is relevant anymore. I mean, it was relevant in the first movie, but it's not relevant even if they merge the Kelvinverse back. It's not relevant. So why are you going to give him
I saw somebody in the chat say Terrence Howard's for Lucius Fox. That would be a good cast.
Is what? Say that again.
As Lucius Fox.
Oh,
he could do it. He's right. He's like the right age.
How old is he?
He's 52. He's just
52,
fucking-
53, something.
52.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy
He's just
Serkis
fucking
is
in the
young.
70s, so-
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
how old is Andy
Andy Serkis is Alfred. Yeah.
Yeah, look, you could have him as Lucius for that universe, or not.
Wait, hang on. I want to ask William. So, William, do you agree that Robert Downey Jr. is not a movie star outside of the MCU? That he's a star. He's a comic book superhero movie star, but he's not the quote unquote box office or movie draw
He's
outside
not.
of the MCU.
He is not.
Do you agree?
And that's not a knock. That
I
is
mean,
not a knock
since
on him.
2014, he didn't really do that many
Yeah.
movies outside of Avengers or Marvel movies.
That's the
Until,
reason why he got paid.
Then there's
60
Doolittle.
yeah,
Then
until that.
Then he got paid 60 million for Endgame.
Yeah, and then there's movies that he's in that have been critically, but he's not a draw outside of the MCU.
Like Sherlock.
Yeah, which is decent movie. Not not for me, but it did okay. But once again, it's not that kind. When you're going to pay Robert Downey Jr., you have to make a certain amount of money in the box office because of what you're paying him.
Can Robert Downey Jr. go to DC?
Huh?
Oh, I
Robert
doubt
Downey
he
go
would.
to
I don't
DC
think he would
movies?
do that.
Did who?
Can Robert Downey Jr. demands to go
Any
to
of these
DC?
guys can. I don't think none of these guys are under exclusive contract. They can do anything they want. That's why you see Jake, what's his face playing? Whiplash. His name's not coming to me now. But
Mickey Rourke.
No, J. Jonah Jameson and then Commissioner Gordon.
Oh,
J.K.
yeah.
Simmons.
Any
J.K.
of these
Simmons.
guys, I mean, they're not under exclusive. They may have deals that say you have to do 5 movies for me, but that doesn't exclude them doing 5 movies for this other person. You just got to make sure you give that person what you signed on to them to do. But yeah, he could go over and do whatever he wants.
Bro, this Sammy in person is still trolling. This is hilarious.
William, I got a question for you, man. I got a question. The first time talking to you, by the way. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Black Panther sequel? Because me personally, I think everything I've heard, right up to this point, has been absolute trash.
Exactly.
Everything I've heard, and I'm probably very optimistic. I usually give every movie the benefit of the doubt, but literally everything I've heard from that movie since day one has sounded horrible.
I want it not to happen. If I have my wish, I would. Any delay I could get that aside from somebody being hurt or injured or anything like that. Any delay I could get, I could ask for. I would have. I don't want this movie to happen. Simply because of the premise of it. I think when you start with a bad premise, I don't think there's much salvation from it that way. You can spend a lot of money, make a bunch of cool sets, but your premise is a movie that you changed because of the death of Chadwick Boseman. And I can't wrap my head around that because it's an altered story. If Chadwick Boseman wouldn't have died, Black Panther's in this movie. Okay. Chadwick Boseman is an asset to tell the story. He is not the story.
You gotta blame Ryan Coogler.
I would rather them wait until if they need to wait until they can resume telling the story that they were going to tell, then I'll wait. But here's the one thing: in comic book movies, it's a cardinal sin in any movie. Do not compromise your story. All right, the story is paramount. The story is why you're there. It's why all the actors are being paid. It's why the gaffers are being paid. It's why the directors are being paid. The story is paramount, not the individuals. All right. So just based on that, the fact that they altered their story of a decades-old character for things that had nothing to do with the story. Listen, his death was tragic. His death, I feel that man's death. All right, that was tragic. But guess what? When William Powell goes, this earth that we're sitting on, it will continue to spin. The people at my job are going to find a way to move on without me. All right, it just happens. I am part of the machine. I am not the machine, and that's and for them, the way they've made their decisions over the past 13 or 14 years, I was actually shocked to see them make a decision because Kevin Feige, the biggest strength that he always has had, other than his organization,
It was Ryan Coogler too. He made the decision too.
Whoever made the decision, it was a bad decision. Put your story first. If it's not what you originally intended to do, then do what you originally intended to do. So I don't have any. I'm not excited for this movie going forward. Like I said, I hope it continues to be delayed. I don't want anybody to get hurt, or die or anything like that. But any delays, I welcome any delays of this movie.
It's gonna do better than the garbage Flash movie coming up in November, anyway.
I don't even have to compare it to the Flash movie.
I love Anthony with his low key, just like the garbage this, the garbage that.
All I need to know is that you change your story for things that have nothing to do with your story.
The Flash is gonna bomb.
That's
Bro,
for me.
Bro,
That's
at
for
this
me.
point, I think the Flash is going to be a better movie than Black Panther 2.
How?
I think Flash is going to get better reviews. I think it's going to be a better movie. I think Black Panther 2 is going to be shit, dude. I think it's going to be
without Black Panther in it. I talked to a lot of people because, like I said, we did a huge thing for that movie when it first came out, and the Black Panther, not just putting the Black Panther mantle on anybody. That's stupid. T'Challa. Him, the way he carried himself, not on every platform T'Challa's ever been on, including the movies that he's been in. That is what attracted people to that movie. And for that work not to go on, that is, I know a lot of people. It's not going to bomb. It's just going to make a good movie. But the excitement, there's a difference, especially for people of color. When you see that character represented that way, you want that story to continue. And you do no one any respect. You actually do them disrespect when you stop their work that was meant to continue. So people are saying, well, you should respect it. No, you respect the work. And if you respect the work continues. That's just that simple for me. So to answer your question, I have no use for Black Panther.
Long story short. One more. Do you think that if the reception is indeed as horrible as most of us seem to think it will be, do you think that they'll, walk back their steps a little bit and then they'll recast?
I think they're going to recast anyway after this movie, simply because the emotions, which should have never played a factor in the business decision, will have subsided to the point where this movie will be like a buffer between what they should have done in the first place. So I do think that they eventually will recast T'Challa. Otherwise, like I said, was Chadwick Boseman's death part of T'Challa's story? The answer is no. Period. All right. So you tell your story. All right. Your story is number one.
I think they should have recast in the first place. Like, even if I'm not sure about right now, but
Black Panther's gonna be CGI when we see him.
It's just
pick another actor.
Yeah, it's just like
pick another actor.
Okay, how about this?
It's not like Chadwick invented the role.
Yeah, he did.
Invented
Jack Kirby and Stan Lee invented the role.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you get Denzel Washington's son to play T'Challa?
I mean,
him or anybody who's qualified. There's a lot of qualified people.
They have to be qualified.
Most people didn't know who Chadwick Boseman was. I had seen his movies before, but most people didn't know who Chadwick Boseman was before he put on that mask. So there could be some guy out there right now who's doing a knockout job in indie movies or on stage somewhere, and the right people will find them. Your production crew will find those people. I mean, just make sure that you, when the next Black Panther movie I'm going to be excited about is the Black Panther movie with the Black Panther T'Challa, not some replacement, not because once again, I go to the movies to get away from the real world. Now you're taking the real world and affecting my fictional comic book character that was created 55 years ago. Repeat that to yourself, and it sounds stupid. And I think as the emotions die down and this movie does whatever it does, cooler, more sensible heads will prevail.
It will do better than Flashpoint.
I could care less about Flashpoint in comparison to Black Panther, though. But no, I don't think there'll be necessarily a backlash. It'll do well. I don't know if it'll do original Black Panther well, because
it went to like 850 at the box office. That's not wrong with that.
Yeah, I kind of disagree there. I mean, just because remember when Paul Walker died, Fast 8 or whatever made like $1.5 billion. Like I do think box office wise, it's gonna make more.
There's a difference between why the people went to go see those characters. When you're talking about the first Black headlining character of a major budgeted film, the first one handled in that way, the first one handled in a non-stereotypical way.
Isn't it Blade the first one?
No, you can't compare Blade to Black Panther, but But as far as budget goes, and as far as stature goes, the Blade is a derivative character. Black Panther was one of the first handful of characters that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee created. We're not talking about something that was created by the second generation people in Marvel or third generation people in Marvel. We're talking about the two men who created half of the Marvel universe in 1961, 1962. That was one of the first characters that they created. So he's up there on a higher level than any other character that you could ever imagine that's been tried before. So when you're talking about Paul Walker, there's not an issue of representation of Paul Walker. There's not what was the other one that was brought up?
Oh no. I was just making that comparison because of like I guess how I was seeing it is like most people will definitely be very curious as to how they handle T'Challa's death in the film like because obviously assuming that his character does die early on in the film and plus with the fact that Chadwick Boseman passed away in real life, I do think that will add some sort of emotional curiosity.
Speculation, maybe you could be right. I personally, the people that the group of people who I'm still in contact with, the close group of people I'm in contact with, they're waiting for it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, no, me too.
It's just, I mean, and it's sad because, like I said, that character, that interpretation of that character meant a lot to people. Seeing Black Panther on the big screen means a lot to people because you see how we're represented in a lot of movies. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it ain't good. But with all these superhero movies going out, there was one that looked like us, and he was a king. He was in a technological wonderland, and the movie also represented all other walks of life. We were in the streets of Oakland with his cousin. I mean, the movie, they really, like I said, they reacted to emotion, and probably the worst tool in the box when it comes to making business decisions.
Yeah, bro.
Well, I mean, they're afraid of backlash, right? That's why they're not recasting them. They're
How
afraid
about
take some time.
But killing them off is probably even worse in that case. Then, like,
well, listen. There's nothing worse. Fans with immediate emotion. I need the studio to be smarter than the reactionaries, because I need the studio to understand that. Listen, the guy sitting in with his popcorn can be emotional, but the guy spending the billions and the millions, he's got to be. He can't have that type of attachment, and that's why there's a difference between a fan and a studio head.
Yeah.
So that's why.
I agree with this comment.
No, not. Listen, if she wants to be, is Chadwick Boseman's wife was part of the original storytelling apparatus in the production crew. Yeah, but you got to realize once again, we're putting an attachment that should not be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no attachment to Chadwick Boseman's wife. All due respect to her, to this movie, other than her husband worked on the movie.
Doesn't she get the contract when he passed away?
No, dude.
No.
Okay, what, dude? Okay, what William is saying and what I completely agree with is that like again, R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman, one of the biggest shocks of a couple years ago or whatever. But like what we're saying is that his wife was not part of the creative process. She's his wife. You know what I mean? She's his emotional anchor. But creatively, professionally, she had really nothing to do with the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like in regards, for instance, let's use this comparison, even though it's not 100% accurate, right? Christopher Reeve, right? He passed away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember when it was. Was it before or after Superman Returns came out? But I think that what I mean. Like if it was before,
It was before.
Dude. Okay, so it's not like anybody at Warner Brothers said, "Hey, he's dead now, so we can't continue with the role. We have to sweep it under the rug and just walk on eggshells from now on because we don't want to get no." You know what I mean? Absolutely not. Well, Black Panther, it's a bigger deal because just like William was saying, Black people do not have role models like this in the media, just like T'Challa. They don't. You know what I mean? T'Challa is bigger than one person. You know what I mean? He's bigger than one man. Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. again, but he started this legacy knowing he was sick, right? He probably started knowing that this legacy was supposed to be bigger than him. You know what I mean? It was not just a role. It was not just a role. It was like a huge responsibility, right? To basically, bring all this representation to the screen. You know what I mean? And now what Marvel is doing they're kind of like shooting themselves in the foot by saying, "Hey, we don't want a backlash." But then you're thinking, dude, like, you know what I mean? It's bigger than just one guy. Thinking of all, you know, the young black and brown boys and girls out there who are going to be deprived of seeing this positive role model on the screen. You know what I mean? Like,
And to the fans, listen, I understand life and I understand death, but as a fan of this movie, I'm sitting there along with you, and I understand the reality that people die. All right, it is an unfortunate reality of life, but we don't stop. In any walk of life that you look at it, whatever you're doing in life, whatever you enjoy in life, whatever you're an important part of in life, and people are with you in that, the world doesn't stop. All right, stories don't stop being told. Fictional stories should never stop being told for this type of, especially when you're talking about a legacy character like this that has been around for 55 years, that is going to be around for another 55 years. Someone is going to play this character eventually. All right, but I mean, for fans, sit back and think about what you're thinking. You don't want them to recast out of respect for Chadwick Boseman. I can think of no bigger slight. I can think of no bigger disrespect than to let that work die with him. I can think of no bigger slap in the face than that for me. That's just me. And especially, like I said before, we just don't have many of us and that stature. Blade, like I said, you think of in order to explain the difference where Blade is on the Pantheon and where Black Panther is. You can't see Blade where Black Panther is. Black Panther is if you're flying over flyover country and maybe you see a cow. That's Blade down there as far as the atmosphere that Black Panther resides in. All right, it's just not the same thing. The budgets and the expectations are not the same thing. The exposure is not the same thing. Blade was fun. I enjoyed the Blade movies, even the goofy one with Triple H in it. But they're not Black Panther. This is the first time a major, high budget, hundreds of millions of dollars is being spent, and the Black man is the main character. That is huge, and we responded to that. I remember going to the movies and seeing Blade. The response to Blade was nowhere near with the response to Black Panther was. The response to Black Panther among us in movies was almost religious. That you can't. The response to Blade, and I'm not knocking the Blade movies, but just don't. This is the first major one, the first major blockbuster one. So, and that just needs to continue. And I hope, that after this movie is released, whatever it makes, that we revisit it and they continue telling their story. So that's it for me. Story first.
I mean, they're just gonna release Captain America 4 with Sam Wilson and then Blade and say, "Oh, here you go. That's enough." You know what I mean? Don't need any more, black men and leading man roles in the MCU. I mean, it's just like for me.
But see, here's the thing, though. Black Panther was unique in that respect, is that he was created. He's not taking on anybody's role. That's the cool thing. Exactly. He is the Black Panther. He is T'Challa. He is. There's no, there's been temporaries and all that, but like I said, and people are like, well, sure, he's been Black Panther before. Here's my question. Prior to Chadwick Boseman dying, were you thinking about putting Shuri in the next movie as Black Panther? Oh. The answer was no. So then that answer still needs to be no.
Well, that's a rumor of her being Black Panther. It's not true until we see the movie.
No, but you hear fans saying that. And like I said, that's the mentality of a fan.
Oh, well, they
want to change the story. And that's why, like I said, the producers and the directors they're in their seats for a position. And we're in our seats, in movie theater seats, and that's where we're all playing our role. But I think the producers and the directors really need to be consistent with what they've done.
Yeah.
We're in MCU history, really, in their brief history, did the story take backseat to anything like this? It just doesn't, and it never should.
Yo, you're going back and forth with this.
I am.
What's happening?
What's going on? I'm totally
you know what? It's this guy. It's this guy. You know what? That's great. I'm so glad that there is a. I really don't care that there's a Discord about me.
Oh,
if you really think I care, I really don't. You know what? I think it's funny that if for some reason what you said was true, it makes me laugh because you're literally talking about a Discord for a channel that's over 300,000 people, and you're worried about me.
Yeah,
so
you got no life.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for your engagement. It really helps boost my views.
And
he said he could send you an invite.
All right, I want to say this.
Whatever. If you want to send me an invite, you can send me an invite. I really don't. None of that matters. I know who I am. So whatever.
What a trash person.
It really doesn't matter. They disappeared for a while and then they came back. So
jamming up the chat. I'm looking right now. Damn it.
You just said, "Hey, that is why."
Yeah.
I don't know. I Samuel. I just don't know how you think that talking to me, talking about things the way that you have tonight is somehow helping anyone out.
Bro, just go to church. Get some help. Let me splash some holy water.
Literally.
Jesus, bro.
Can I just say something, Enoch? You don't need
Oh
to
yeah, it's
justify
definitely a troll.
I've Samuel, I have never ever once, not one.
Why is he so obsessed with this?
I don't know.
I thought this
because
was
people are obsessed with me. Because
gotta be
people
a
are
burn,
obsessed
I
with me.
think.
I
Bro,
have never
why
once.
leave
I have
Mark
never
Jarbo out of
once
this
messaged
conversation.
Jeremy in any way outside of Jeremy messaging me first. The
Okay,
one
Mark
time.
Jarbo will get you fired. First of all, Matt is not even here. And second of all,
no, Matt Jarbo did not get me fired. I was let go from that position, and I've moved on to something much more better than what I was doing before, because somebody said penis. It wasn't Matt, but somebody said penis on my stream, and some people got really in a hissy about it, and I'm better off for not being there. Plus, they didn't like a drop that I played. I've never talked with Gary. Gary doesn't know me. I've never reached out to Gary. I've never reached out to Jeremy besides when Jeremy messaged me. So I don't know what to tell you.
It's
Rumors
funny.
came about that your boss right now. You keep showing up on Jarbo shows. What?
Oh,
my old.
What?
That's.
I just want.
That is some bullshit.
My thing is, it's just
that's hilarious. That is not true at all. That my former employers don't even know who Matt Jarbo is. So
bro, Samuel, just go to church.
Literally, they did not like the. I've been very, very apparent about that. Somebody said penis on the stream. They didn't like the fact that I showed a clip that was from the UK from a game show that spelled out penis dump, and it also spelled out the C word. It also spelled out the C word, and we had a conversation about it. And I just told him, it is what it is. It happened live. You know what? They also didn't like the fact that we talked about the movie Teeth on the channel. I explained it. We shook hands. We agreed that, what? I do what I do.
Not true. Okay, thank you for clearing that up because people are saying you were fired because of your online situation.
Actually, I actually want to join this Discord. What the fuck is this about?
That is not true at all. It is not. No. That's funny. That's funny. No, yeah. I don't know why people care so much about my job. But no, I moved on. I moved on because it had nothing to do with the people. The people that I worked with don't even have any clue who Matt Jarbo is. They've never even heard Matt Jarbo's name.
She said he's getting info and sharing it to people. Oh my god!
This guy's just.
he just wants attention. He just wants attention.
We're giving.
Nobody owes anybody an explanation about anybody's.
Yeah,
I know.
It's like,
I know.
It's
funny. It's funny.
Honestly,
it's kind of a comedy.
You don't need to justify yourself to anyone.
I'm not justifying myself to anybody. I know I don't, man, and I appreciate that. I'm not. I just, you know what? I think it's funny. It's really funny.
Who the hell is Rel got the juice?
It's just really funny. It's just really funny. You sure it wasn't because they saw me rip apart live? Yeah, there was that one time on Nicotina's show, right? No, you know what? That's hilarious. Nope. People don't need to worry about it. I have literally taken over a church. I am the lead pastor of the church.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, I'm not the worship pastor of the church I was at before. I'm in a much better place. I'm much happier than I've been in a long, long time. I'm actually doing what I was called to do about a year and a half ago and knew that I should have done. And now I'm doing it. And so has nothing to do with Matt Jarbo. I can go on any stream I want to. There you go. I always could. Nobody, you guys living in this online world. I love it how people who live in the online world think that like YouTube is real life and like everybody knows who Matt Jarbo is. Everybody knows who Jeremy is. Everybody knows who this person or Doomcock or whatever else is. And like, seriously, people just don't.
You know what's funny? That these trolls.
I mean, seriously, I had to explain to the people that I was working with who Zack Snyder was, for God's sake. So come on.
You know what's funny? That these trolls will never say that in your face.
Oh no.
Yeah,
it's called being a pussy. That's right. That's right. The Enosh fan club is real.
What restaurant?
There's literally restreams in this Discord.
A restream.
Please, bro, go back to your kitten, Samuel.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy derail.
I feel honored. I feel honored now. Like this is one of Jeremy's things. That's
a goddamn burner account.
Wow, they all comment. Well, that's cool. You know what? They should comment. They should comment on the videos I do from my car. Yeah, they should because the nerd encouragement videos are very special, and they actually encourage quite a few people.
I agree.
So,
right now, I don't even believe.
So I'm glad the nerd encouragement is getting around.
I really don't believe this guy.
I don't either. I don't either.
You know what's funny?
Black Star here with a $6.99 Canadian super chat. Thank you. Says, can Cloverfield Monster give them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Oh no!
I think he's calling for a drop.
That's hilarious.
He's gonna play the drop. He's gonna play it.
This guy totally didn't have our conversation.
Funny you say that because the Holy Spirit is one of the channel names. Interesting.
Oh, gee.
What?
Samuel, you Samuel straight up.
What?
Wait a minute, I'm an admin. Can I tell you that?
Oh yeah. You know, I told Integrity I got it if I wanna do it. It's just this is more comical to me.
To this guy.
I know this is more comical. This is more comical to me than anything else. I mean, it's
more funny than
it gives you guys a little bit of a window into how funny it is that like people just they don't even need a reason. They just don't like me.
I like how he's doing. He's doing all this doing all this time to talk about an anonymous style Discord. But he won't send the link to it. I want to see. Come on, dog.
Yeah, fucking send us the link. You. I don't know if I can say.
Yo, Samuel, join the stream, pussy.
Hey, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the link's in the goddamn.
No. I took the link out. But the link was in there earlier. The link was in there earlier, but nobody's sending me any links to Discords. I'm kind of like out there on everything. So
he's still going. He wants to know if you tried to get Zach on the stream now.
Is it true that you tried to get Zach on the stream? What do you mean by tried?
What do you mean by that?
Do you know like you do realize like who I've been around, right? And like
what
I
I
do.
am.
Okay. Oh, you'll send me a link, but you won't say when. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right then.
Samuel, you funny, but you're a disgrace.
Oh my gosh.
myself, mate.
This guy's hilarious. This guy's hilarious. This is funny. This is funny.
It's like being in a debate, but they don't give you evidence. You know, it's like I'll give it to you when I feel like it.
I'll give it to you later. I'll give it to you later. Look at me, guys. Look at me. I'm in the chat. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. You're
now he's bringing Ray Porter into it.
It's a bonus.
Oh, Ray Porter's into. Oh, I was looking at something. I heard that you tried to get Ray Porter to get in contact with Zack Snyder's agent. You understand?
What? You fucking dumbass. What?
Where is he getting this from?
I don't know. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. First of all, Ray Porter's a friend. Second of all, I would not have to go through Ray Porter to try to get to Zack Snyder's agent.
The Discord wants to know.
The Discord wants to know.
God, he's trying. This guy thinks he's like the fucking Zodiac, except he's not killing it.
Oh
Hey,
my
Josh, I have a question.
gosh, that's cringe. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question really quickly. So I just started recently collecting collectibles, action figures, and stuff, and I was just wondering. I don't know anything about it, but is the integrity and I guess the value of the action figure itself worth more if you never take it out of the box? If you keep it in there, basically for all time until whatever.
William, I like this question.
Yeah, I have no comment. I defer. I yield my time to Enosh.
Well, imagine that. So here's the deal, man. This is what I tell people. First of all, you should never collect something because you think it's going to be worth something, or because you're trying to, like save it for money purposes, right? I mean, like toys are not something, and collectibles are not something that's not the game that you want to get into for a return on investment, because there's a lot of things that people speculate, oh, this is going to be worth a lot of money, and then like it's literally worth like a couple of bucks right off the beginning, and then you know what, 2 months from now when the market's flooded with that same exact toy, nobody cares, right? And so then all of a sudden the price just crashes down out of it, right? So like even something that's like really hard to find right now, like for example, I collect the G.I. Joe classified line, right? So there's like a lot of those that like at first they were hard to find, right? And then all of a sudden they just get reissued, like, and they just make more, and so it's the same one and it just keeps going out. And so now guess what, like what people were selling for $100 a year ago, now it's super easy to find, right? So there are obviously collectibles that are, they're worth something, I mean, I collect obviously, and but there, yes, there are, I mean, if you have something that's in the package still that ends up being worth something, then yeah, it's going to be worth more in that package. But like William will just tell you that that you should never open a toy, but that's dumb. That's dumb. You should, because it's dumb. It's dumb, William. You give me a hard time about stuff, but like William would tell me,
savage.
Like, well, it is because you're pretty savage on everybody else. But like, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Like, I got this Flash from Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is super common. I literally opened up
by Isabella.
I opened up a Green Lantern, John Stewart, and William was freaking out on live because I opened it up live on the program, and he's like, "Oh my God, don't open the thing!" And it's like it's the most common thing on the planet. It's worth $20. It was worth $20 when it first came out. You can get it for a lot cheaper now, even than that. So, like,
the 100 cover figure is weird.
You know what I mean? So the thing is like, so the thing is that it doesn't matter with some of this stuff, right? I mean, if you want it, if you want to be able to touch it, play with it, display it, you know what? Then you do that, if you buy something, now I will say this, if you buy something, for example, that is already like known, to be worth something, right? It's already an item, right? It's like a classic item. Here's the other problem too. Newer stuff, no. Like, the only thing that's going to be worth anything like that way is going to be older stuff. But here's the problem. You're never going to get any more out of it probably than what it is right now. You know, I mean, now there's some things that can be changed that way, because like my original GI Joes that I got a couple of years ago, the market was way down because nobody cared about them. And then all of a sudden the market like shot up, right? So now
because of the pandemic.
Yeah. So now some of these things, you know, it was funny. Samuel, I shot you down about Zack Snyder as well. I've talked with Zack Snyder. Like, I just told you.
Samuel, just go to hell, bro.
I know, dude. I literally just told you. I
trash, bro.
literally just told you
So trash.
the same thing.
So trash.
I wouldn't need Ray Porter. I wouldn't need Ray Porter to get a hold of Zack Snyder. So there you go. That should be your answer. The answer's no. The answer's no. Anyways, the thing about the toys though is like you could never predict that, right? Because like back in 2000, about 2001, nobody gave a crap about GI Joe.
Factual.
Right? Nobody gave a crap about GI Joe. So the thing is, I sold all my original GI Joes that I had when I was a kid, for super cheap. Right, for yard sale prices, right? I wish I had those back.
$1, $2, $3.
I wish I had those back. But here's the thing: is if you went and bought all that stuff now, right, and you spent the money that what it is, you shouldn't buy that for an investment. You should buy that because you just want it. You know what I mean? Like if it's something that you enjoy, something you want, that's why you should buy it. But that's really why you should buy anything. So if you keep something in the package, it may be worth a little bit more down the line, but it may not, because it really has nothing to do with that. What it really has to do with is what someone is willing to pay for you.
J Money says Andrew Casale.
It's Andrew Casale?
What?
How do you know that?
He's just.
If that's Andrew Casale.
It's not Andrew.
That's very
He's
weird.
just messing around.
It's not Andrew. But no. So the thing is like, you know what? It's all just literally about, you should buy things that you enjoy having around you, that you enjoy looking at, because you could invest money in something that's old and you're going to pay that for it, and then you're going to hope that you can get that much out of it again. You know, when it comes to toys and collectibles and stuff, there's no clear thing. Now that being said, there's some things that if I know that they're harder to find, or if they're harder to come across, if I get a figure, for example, that I know is harder to get a hold of, I may leave that in the package, just because if I ever do decide to sell it, I know that it is going to be worth a little bit more. But all that is being a part of like that community of toy people, right? You know, you're only going to know that if you're out there actively involved. So there's no easy answer on that, to be quite honest with you, because there's no cut and dry. You know, collectibles are so all over the place that you know, it's all just speculation. William will tell you that you should never open a toy ever.
I'm largely joking, but because I sell toys, I buy and
when are you
sell
gonna
toys.
rob Enos?
No, that's happening. But no, I'll pick up toys. Sometimes some people bring them in, and it all depends on a lot of the value of the toy. Also depends on the market you have. So I have a person who comes in every 3 months. He rotates into Vegas every 3 months, and he always wants to buy loose Star Trek or Star Wars toys, Power of the Force stuff that was opened up. And it depends on what market is available as far as their value goes. Power of the Force stuff for me, back in the stuff that was released, the red card stuff, is worth a lot more than the stuff that is out of the box. But if I have more buyers for the stuff out of the box, then there's the value. So
have you ever bought Hot Toys?
What's up?
Have you ever bought Hot Toys?
Nah, Hot Toys right now. Hot Toys are really expensive. I don't buy toys for me. I buy them for our resale. But Hot Toys right now in this economy here in Vegas they're kind of expensive. So I hope things turn around because I do want to get it back into sideshow collectibles. So I used to carry a lot of those. I do want to get into some of the vintage stuff. Some of the vintage stuff that's rare in general too. There's a flip side to that too. Some of the stuff that's worth a lot still in the package. There are some vintage figures I've come across Star Wars wise that are worth a lot out of the box.
Watchmen figures cost a lot too.
You know, so but there's the Obi-Wan. I had an Obi-Wan one time, Obi-Wan with the special clothes. I've never had the Boba Fett one that everybody was chasing, but I've had a lot of them. And if they're out of the package and they're in still good unrestored condition, they can get a pretty high dollar. So,
Yo, this Samuel Jackson.
what's so funny? You guys are paying attention to that nonsense.
No,
not
2 months back, not 3 months back, not 1 month back, not ever. Listen, I've never tried to reach out to any of them.
You know, you have Hot Toys?
Do I have Hot Toys? No, but I have Hot Toys coming.
Well,
I have Hot Toys coming. Yeah, Max actually. Max got me the Black Suit Superman and the Nightmare Batman. Yep.
The eyes light up on it. The eyes light up on it.
You guys all talked at once. I can't.
No, I'm just gonna do the eyes light up on the Hot Toys.
I don't have them yet. They're supposed to be coming in here not too long. Now
where are you gonna put them?
I'll have a place for them.
Them behind.
No, because they're not here yet. So I don't have a place for them right now. Silver Pictures. I will say this: there are some things, like for example, Kenner, well Hasbro with HasLab, right? They built a Jabba's sail barge, right? That was huge. Just this huge thing. It was $500. And immediately, but you could only buy. You couldn't get it in stores. You had to buy it. It's their HasLab is their thing where basically you prepay for certain toys. Like, and they have like a ceiling where they try to get 10,000 people to fund it. It's a crowd-funded toy thing. And so I did not get in on the sail barge. I wish I had, but the sail barge is freaking huge. It's like, I mean, it's really big. But then last year, was it last year? No, it was the year before. It was 2020. They announced that they were doing the same thing for the Razor Crest from the Mandalorian, right? And so they were trying to get I can't remember how many. I think it was like 5,000 people to.
You got the helmet?
No, the Razor Crest. The ship, ship, right? And so, right. Well, that was the thing was that they were selling it. You could get in on the ground floor for $350. And the thing is, what they do is they have like if they get so many people to fund it, then it goes up to the next level. Where so we had the first level, you just got the Razor Crest. Second level, you got the Razor Crest and a special Mandalorian figure and a special Grogu figure or whatever. And then it just kept going up from there. They ended up hitting their entire thing. Oh, we lost him.
Rest in peace.
Who did we lose?
Oh, he said laters. Oh, okay. They ended up getting all of the funders that they wanted.
Hello.
Okay.
My God, send a link, dude.
No, Bill from
Stupid. I got a Discord too. I got a Discord somewhere in my lower gut that.
Oh my God, Bill from Discord. What the
Whatever. Like that means anything. Okay.
Yeah. Tell Bill to fuck himself.
But so I ended up getting the Razor Crest. The Razor Crest is actually going to be coming in here in probably the next month or so.
Oh, nice.
It was supposed to come in October, but it got pushed back.
Do we have an exact date on that Razor Crest arrival?
Shut up. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, but no. So Tiffany let me get that one, but that's like one of those things too that like that will also be one of like just collectibles are just weird like that. You know what I mean? Like I always tell people, man, just collect because you like it.
Yeah, make your man cave. Make your man cave. Your thing. Like I said, I joke about opening package, but like we sell most of our figures. Ironically, we sell are out of the package because we buy and sell them. But I've seen when people get back to their places where they come from, they'll show me their man caves and stuff. It's like holy cow. But those people are truly happy though. They are surrounding themselves with happiness, and that's really all. And he is right about what any collectible, especially comics or things like that. When it comes to trying to get comics or get things or get figures for money, it's super hard to guess what trends are going to be, and B, you're literally just buying something cool like that just to have it for that reason, and it's not going to be on your wall, or it's not going to be on like what you see behind him right now. That's the way you should be living if you're a collector. I mean,
comics are very collectible.
Comics are collectible, but here's the thing about comics being collectible.
It depends, like if you get a comic from like the 70s or 80s.
But see that's the thing too, is it's like if it's older or if they're for like special appearances or whatever, yes. But look at what happened in the 90s. All the speculators drove up prices on comic books like crazy, where it's like the death of Superman's Superman number 75 in the black bag, man. It was going for like over $100 for a minute. Now you can buy one for like $5-6.
I gave them away on Free Comic Book Day.
Exactly. So the thing is like at the time there was this kind of fake
outrage.
It was this outpouring of oh my god, it was going to be so hard to get, and like and it was going to be so hard. I mean, I remember William, like during that time, right? Because I had the trade paperback, but then I sought out to get like all of the issues leading up to the death of Superman, so all of the Doomsday appearances and stuff. At the time, like those things were going for a hot dollar, man. There for a minute, and but that was back in the 90s. That was in the middle of like 94 95. You know what I mean, where it was at the height of all that stuff.
My first years in business, and it was like, wow, we were just, and
everything had like 2 or 3 different, like every event comic had 2 or 3 different covers,
chromium
covers.